Biafra. inagwa meziokwu. Unu na-agwa meziokwu, unu na-agwa meziokwu. N'ọnwụ gburu di memego di mego Chukwu. Onye gudu ụwa, onye gudu ụwa mezi ife dịlịa. O mezi ife dịlịa n'elu ụwa na-aba ọma ebe ụlọ ọnwụ. Mmadụ zara afọ n'elu ụwa zọ ọnwụ ebuka. Na mmadụ zara afọ n'elu ụwa wee zazi ọnwụ bụ alịlị. Igbo nwere oge na-enwe egwu enwe ikoro. Ibukwube na n'Igbo iko na-ada. Didigo 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 iko na-ada ko. Ibukwu mere ụbọchị afọ ukwu. Chienwele bibie ji Igbo n'anya. Onye nọ na na-adagbugo onye nọ n'enu. Enu akaghị aka na akaghị aka. Ikuku eburugo n'ike fọrọ ji n'ike. Ejula agba mme na akaghị aka. Oke osisi chọrọ udeleche egbe adago. Ibe ebe akwa ka nwata orimiri agba dike n'anya. Okokoko atụrụ ekola agụ nwa. Tututututu ekwo nwa sọ anya.
Akpata oyi ji.
Bim Chukwu emego dị mego Ojukwu. Ezi Igbo gburugburu. Ike dị ọra mma. Odozi obodo Ojukwu anabago. Anya ndị Igbo ji afụ ụzọ. Ọnụnụ ube nwanne bụ dazọba nwanne. Ọtabili onye nwanne. Ataka na abụọ. Ike na-akpa ogwu na.
Hello, fellow Biafrans. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you might be based on your time zone. My name is Ikem Patrick DK, and this evening I'm coming to you live from Veneto, Italy, and it's my pleasure to be your host on this wonderful edition, this wonderful program. This hour, it is 10 minutes past 11 p.m. in my own location. It might be morning in your location, it might be night, it might be afternoon. But in my location is 10 minutes past 11 p.m. And it's my pleasure to host you. We are having a special guest of honor today, Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga, who had a very strong voice in our agitation as at 2015. And we are bringing him back 6 years later to come to join us. He has always made himself available in the struggle for Biafra restoration. He had proffered solutions. He had tried to put Biafrans together within his reach and power. And those who at the time had the position of authority turned down every effort, frustrated every of his effort to bring Biafrans together. But today they are making a U-turn, embracing what they once rejected. And that's the reason, the principal reason I'm bringing Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga to have a communion with us this evening. And with me as well is our usual guest, Mazi Solomon Peter, who will be joining us contemporarily alongside Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga. And at this point in time, I have to bring in Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga to join us in this program. Hello, Doctor. Good evening from my end.
Yeah, good evening over there, and good afternoon here, the East Coast of the United States, principally from the city of Clinton in the beautiful state of Maryland.
Thank you, Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga. I like to bring in Mazi Solomon Peter as well. Mazi Solomon Peter, can you please unmute yourself and introduce? You don't need introduction, but all the same, meeting doctor for the first time, I think he would like to know you. Mazi Solomon. Mazi Solomon, we are not hearing you. You are not audible. Can you please make rectify your challenges over there? We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Doctor, can you please give us a brief, a more wider introduction? Because I know that a lot of Biafrans have never had encounter with you. They've never met you. They've never had, I believe some haven't had about you, but I've heard about you. I know you very well. It's important you introduce yourself. Myself hosting you for this first time on Biafra television. It's important you give our viewers a more broader perspective about your personality, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. First, the reason I'm called a doctor is because I'm a political scientist. I specialize in the area of peace and conflict studies. And I'm an expert on the issues of guerrilla warfare. My doctorate is in the area of nation building, the failure of nation building in South Sudan, which all of you have seen, because when nation building fails, state building cannot succeed. And I am an Ambazonian, or a Southern Cameroonian. I'm one of the Southern Cameroonian leaders. And those of you who don't know me, I was sent to prison for 20 years, tried in a military tribunal in 1997. I spent 7 of those 20 years in prison, and I am the only one who succeeded in escaping from prison in Kondenge, in La République du Cameroon, the only one who has succeeded to escape. I spent 3 years in Nigeria in exile, in Abuja, and I spent quite some time in the eastern part of what you people call Biafra land. I was in every nook and cranny in Biafra land. I was specifically in Aba. At that time, you knew about what they call the Bakassi boys. They were very, very prominent at that time, and there was a lot of stuff that were going on in Nigeria at that time. So I spent 3 years in Nigeria in exile, and then I came to the United States as a refugee, not as an asylee, as a refugee. But I am one of the top leaders of this Ambazonian struggle for statehood. But I am here specifically as the Secretary General of the Organization of Emerging African States, because it is on the basis of the OEAS that we were consulted by some Biafrans and Biafran entities that we should try to find a way to bring everybody together. And I did my best, took a risk. I flew all the way from the UK, from Birmingham. I went down to Ghana for the first time. That was my first trip to Ghana because of the Biafran struggle. And I was trying to bring the Biafrans together to advise them on what they have to do, how they have to carry themselves going forward. Unfortunately, it didn't work. And it worked partially, but it didn't work the way we wanted it to go through, because the Biafrans are technically very proud people, but at times their pride always precedes the good things they need to do to themselves. And that pride has harmed them very, very bad. A struggle which is very clear that they would have been able to somehow take a stroll, a walk towards reaching a conclusive negotiated settlement with the federal government of Nigeria. They have somehow, let me be very frank, messed it along the way. And every time you try to explain about this, you find very negative vocal voices out there shouting from the top of their voices. I've talked to a lot of Biafran leaders, a lot, even Comrade Nnamdi Kanu. When he was in London, I was in Birmingham. He actually reached out to me first because I didn't know anything about him. I've talked to a lot of them. Some of them that belongs today to what you call the customary government. I have their phone numbers. I've liaised with them. I was in Ghana of recent to bury my uncle, Jerry John Rollins. And there are pictures with me and a Biafran group that is over there. Many of them were able to recognize me. So I am not a Biafran by birth, but back from where I come from, I'm being called a Biafran. It is one of the reasons why we are fighting the war of independence, of restoration of our homeland, because We are all seen as Biafrans, even though when we try to bring truth to reality on the Biafran struggle, a vast majority of young men and women who do not really understand what it means to liberate the people become very vocal with their iPhones and their Samsung phones and all Android phones online. And they heap all types of insults. So I'm here because I was invited, and also for me to let the Biafrans know that there is no amount of insult to one another that is going to bring you freedom.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doctor. I'm happy you honored our invitation. And in fact, you didn't even hesitate. It shows your zeal and your willingness to always be available for us and to anybody who want to, who is genuinely fighting for their freedom. Mazi Solomon, I don't know if you've been able to rectify your issues with the audio. You're still having same problem. I think you have to rectify that. Unmute yourself. You've muted yourself. Can you unmute yourself, Mazi Solomon, please? You're, I don't know what the problem is, but such a crucial and important program. I think I have to let you go. I think I have to let you go for a while and see if you can sort it out while we proceed with Doctor. So, Doctor, you know, we are here to talk about a lot of things, and I know the effort you put in, genuinely. And most of the time, people have their own perspective about issues. People, and also sometimes people have the direction they feel they have to go to achieve whatever aim. And if, for instance, your suggestion doesn't match, it becomes, difficult to reconcile positions. And as far as I know, sometime in 2015, when the leader of IPOB, Mazi Kano, was incarcerated, you made an effort to see how you can bring all the pro-Biafran groups together. Can you please tell us what actually happened? Why that effort didn't yield the desired result?
Yes, as I said, I was contacted by some pro-Biafran groups. But there is one Biafran who is so dedicated to the struggle that it has, from a personal perspective, ruined him. I didn't know him. He called me one day from London and told me he's coming to visit me in Birmingham. I was in Birmingham with my son. I was doing my second doctorate with a specification on guerrilla warfare. This is Chukuma Egemba, Dr. Egemba. He came over to my house. We spent the whole day discussing, strategizing. He came with one other young man. I think I've just forgotten his name. And we discussed a lot. So I spoke with the chief administrative officer of the OES, Dr. Jonathan Levy, who is an international lawyer. And we decided that I think we need to do something to see how we can bring all the Biafrans together. We were not doing that for the purpose of a particular group because we do not belong to any. Our goal was, these people have a lot of capacity. They have the financial capacity, they have the manpower capacity, they equally have the logistic capacity because Biafrans are very smart, whether it's technologically or engineering-wise. And what was lacking is the unnecessary squabbles between Biafrans. I come from this state. I will not listen to you. I come from this state. And that is one of the things which the federal government have succeeded in dividing the Biafrans. The moment the Biafra land was divided in between little states, it was no longer like one region. Though as a region, they had normal little skirmishes or issues, which normally occurs where they are human beings. But the moment the Biafrans were divided into Abia State and this and all whatnot, it became an issue of people fighting for their own, and they were not able to see the greater goal of freedom. So our goal was to bring everyone together and try to find a way where they could speak as one man and decide for themselves how they could chart the way forward. Prominent at that time, and for quite a very long time, was the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. And there were other little groups that were also there. I call them little groups based on the issue of numeric representation at the time. But we wanted everyone to come together. We reached out to everybody for reasons which I could see as that of governance, which is the same thing that is belaboring the trouble, the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia struggle. The IPOB were very critical of this movement, especially my dear brother, Uche, I think it's called Uche Mefort, something like that.
Uche Mefort, yeah. Who was the deputy?
Radio Biafra, something. Is it Radio Biafra in London?
Radio Biafra, yeah.
And I've spoken over Radio Biafra before, but I became an enemy to Radio Biafra the moment they have invited me. I think he himself has spoken with me on Radio Biafra. But the moment I came up as the Secretary General of the OES in trying to bring the Biafrans together, I became the enemy. They went on Radio Biafra and other networks. They started throwing all types of insult upon me. But look, I'm like a stone in the middle of the water. There's no amount of insults that can pull me out of it. I stick to my position because I know exactly what I'm saying. This is my area. I am an expert in it. And if you're not an expert, but you have the zeal for freedom, you need to listen to those who have expertise in what they are saying. And I think IPOB was worried that they were too popular, according to them. And if anyone has to call the Biafrans to come together, it should be them. That was the first point. The second point was that they were also thinking that if you call a meeting of this nature, it will take away what they perceive as the power, as authority, as governance that they had in their hands. Unfortunately, not a single entity, not a single Biafran group can sit and claim that they have authority or have governance over Biafra land until Biafra is free. If Biafra is not free, every other thing you people are doing is a waste of time. People can call themselves anything, do whatever they want to do. You could even have the word, but you don't know how to use it. Nothing is going to happen. So this is why IPOB did not show up. They did not only fail to show up, they went on a crucifixion agenda. They attacked my personality. They said all types of things. They were comparing me with Comrade Nnamdi Kanu, who was at that time in detention. In fact, it was laughable because I knew that at the end of the day, I knew where things would come. I knew that people would come to reason, but it would be too late because the time that the Biafrans would have wasted at that time to come together, it will be too late. Coming together does not necessarily need you to go to war.
Doctor, hold your break a while. Hold your break. Just hold your break a little because it's interesting. You know, why I invited you in this program is that at the time your voice was so high on Radio Biafra. I remember the role you tried to play. I remember how you were pushing hard, to see the unity of every pro-Biafrans, coming together. And as at that time, the leader of IPOB was incarcerated. The deputy, who is no longer with IPOB presently, had the authority. He had everything under his control. In fact, he made all the decisions on the direction IPOB is going to follow. And I recall that you were demonized by this same ex-deputy Uchemefo for trying to bring all pro-Biafrans together. And these are the reasons. What I try to do is to put a clear picture for our people, because what we see today, the song we hear, the likes of Uchemefo and Co sing today, is a song they sang differently some years back, and up to today they haven't come out actually to tell Biafrans why they suddenly change their mind and start calling for all pro-Biafran groups to come together when they stood against it and demonized people like you who saw that broader vision 6 years ago. And on that point, I want to see if Mazi Solomon have rectified this. Mazi Solomon, have you been able to sort yourself out? Oh my God, Mazi Solomon, I think there is something. No, you just muted. You've just muted yourself. You've just muted yourself. Can you hear me?
Maybe,
I can't. We can't.
maybe Fulani headsmen are holding back his.
No. He's far away in Australia. The Fulani herdsmen cannot get there. You said? Mazi Solomon is difficult for us. It's very, very difficult for us. I hope that Mazi Solomon would be able to unplug your system, and see if you can return back. See if you can return back. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Remove your earpiece completely from the source and put it back again. Try and see, maybe you are having some kind of partial contact or something. You've just muted yourself. You have muted yourself. I can't hear you. Unplug your earpiece from your system completely and put it back. It's a whole lot of confusion here. Okay, so doctor, I have to allow Solomon. Let's see if he can sort himself out. Now we have a newly, let's say, constituted de facto government, and I know you have a clue of the personalities, but we'll be going to that. In 2015, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was incarcerated. IPOB faced very serious dangers. A lot of prominent principal officers were sent out of IPOB due to one misunderstanding or the other. And we had one of the biggest challenge at the time. As a result of the absence of the leader of IPOB, the ex-deputy Uchemefo had all the control. He had the microphone, he had the powers, he made major decisions. And, looking at where we are today, we are now trying to reconcile the damages that were done. Because that is what we are trying to do today. We are trying to reconcile the damages that we had done. We are not here to demonize people, doctor. And I know absolutely that you are a neutral person, a very clean-hearted individual who want the best for everybody. You understand what freedom fighting is all about. In fact, you understand more because you have been there and you are still there. You've had years of experience, fighting for freedom, not just freedom of nations, but of also individuals and, corporate bodies. Today we have the ex-deputy who have fallen out completely with IPOB. At some point, he demonized you. And today he's demonizing IPOB that, that he was into. And he has also deprived IPOB certain possibilities. And today he's embracing those possibilities as a way of, enhancing his own personal interest. How do you reconcile some of these intrigues in the whole process?
It's not surprising to me. This is my field. Brother Uchemefo, I don't really know him physically, but he's not the first person to appear on the scene who act in this way. There are many people like him who have acted like this in different parts of the world, whether in Southern Africa, in the anti-apartheid struggle in Mozambique, Renamo versus Frelimo, or it is even in the Tigrayan region. Now you find the onslaughts between Ethiopia and Eritrea versus the Tigrayan people. These things have happened all over the world. My concern is that no matter what the situation is, if people fall out and they realize themselves, no matter how late it is, and they want to join the fold, they should be welcome. They should be welcome, but they should also be in a position of speaking truth to the people, to say, I got it wrong. I didn't understand certain things at certain times, but I thought I was doing it genuinely. I didn't know that what I was doing was not genuine enough or was not going to help us. And then you come back and the rest of the people should welcome any individual who would do that, so that you can move forward. Because if you do not do that, you will continue to have these unnecessary wranglings, which is causing a lot of problems amongst you people. And it is certain that the only reason why we were consulted by other Biafran entities was because of the internal squabbles, the division, the unnecessary antagonism between Biafrans. Every individual organization or what network or persons will tell you that I am fighting for Biafra. But you look at their modus operandi, you ask yourself whether they were fighting for Biafra or they were fighting for a bigger stake within the federal system of Nigeria. I'm a human rights campaigner, and I look at the Biafran struggle from the perspective of a human rights quagmire. I am not there to decide for the Biafrans whether they should look for external self-determination out of Nigeria or not. The Biafrans have already made that determination themselves. But making that determination, you have to do it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, no matter whether you have all the instruments, you are not going to succeed. You will not succeed. The problem, like as I said, in Biafra land is almost like the problem of everybody trying to be a chief. That is one of the issues that is affecting the situation at the moment. You cannot have a people with so much manpower, so much know-how, so much financial capability, yet they can't move an inch when they are being held back, when they are being pushed to the ground. Then you know there is a problem. There is a problem that we were coming in as a neutral body, the Organization of Emerging African States. We're not coming to impose. We're not coming to tell IPOB that what you are doing is not right, because IPOB has done a wealth of good. But I can assure you that some of the things they have done, from that wealth of good they have done to the Biafran struggle, re-energizing it, their unnecessary onslaught on the older generation, their attacks on anyone who doesn't see the way they see it, instead of trying to convince them through their philosophy, through their methodology, is one of the things that have caused the unnecessary wrangling. However, we know very well that in Africa and in struggles like this, the issue of governance is a very big thing. When people begin to see that they can pull crowds, at times they fail to look at their shortcomings. They fail to realize that others can come from somewhere else who can contribute better in what they are doing, or who might even give them ideas that they can make things best for the good of everybody. They swirl in with the titles they give to them, and personality calls start building in. And when personality calls start building in, people remove their eyes from the ball. They start chasing the shadow than the object. That is why you people find yourself where you are. It is not those things that are lacking. It is the ability of people coming together to say we can sit together and talk. The older generation should know there are limitations of what they can do. The younger generation should know that despite their energy, despite their strength, there are things they can also learn from the older generation. So you need to blend these two. And then the older generation will be there to give their blessings. They'll give their blessings for these energetic young men and women to understand that you cannot achieve freedom without paying the ultimate sacrifice. This is not a game. This is a matter of life and death. And you have to handle it with care. You have to look deep into your heart and ask yourself whether this is what you want to achieve for yourself and for your people, rather than you treat it like some sort of a ping pong, like a game. It's not going to work. It's going to have a lot of negative repercussions to you, to your direct community, and to your people. So you have everything. Everything is within your powers to make sure that you galvanize your people. As I'm sitting here, I don't know how your struggle is going to end. Some of you don't know how your struggle will end. You know what you want. You are not even sure you achieve that exact stuff that you want. But when you are in a struggle like this, you should determine what type of struggle are you involved in. Are you involved in internal self-determination, or you want external self-determination? Because if you don't determine what you want, no matter what you do, you're not going anywhere. If your goals are internal self-determination, you begin to prepare and strategize to work towards that. If your goal is external self-determination, which is more larger at times more difficult to pull out, especially with the present configuration of Africa after 1963, then you have to know that you need allies rather than enemies. And each Biafran becomes important, but equally know that you are not going to take everybody along. You cannot think that if, for example, Biafra, let me say Biafra, the Biafran population, the entire Biafran population, all put together is, let me say 70 million. Let me just put it like that. Don't think that you are going to have 70 million to back you. You might not even have 50 million. You will not. If you have 200,000 strong men and women dedicated to this cause of freedom, remember, this is freedom. This is a very risky thing, where you know exactly what you're looking for. You need to march forward. You need to march forward with everybody. So as I was saying, if what Mr. Uchemefo did, I don't have a problem with him. Like as I said, insult is nothing to me. I'm used to it. It's not worse than what they did to me in prison, in detention and then prison. We came in as a neutral body because we think that because of the unnecessary wranglings, the Biafrans need a neutral body, people who understand what it is. Added to that, Biafra is a member state of the Organization of Emerging African States, just like the Southern Cameroons, the Cabindans, and some other entities. So we did not jump into it. It is because as a member state, they reached out to us and say, can you bring our people together? Let's see what to do. My goal was to bring you people together, and you people can talk it out in any format to make sure we are there to moderate. And that is exactly what I did in Ghana. I moderated with those who were there. They went back to Biafra land and started organizing themselves. So this is my appeal, and this is the message I'm going to pass all through that I will be here tonight, that the Biafrans should know that they have everything within their powers. It is not grammar that will save them. It is not wealth that will save them. It is not this struggle for being an Igwe that will save them, because that is one of the issues where everybody is looking at the titles they give to them. And that Biafran should start working towards liberation and stop sharing titles to people. Because when they give those titles and people take them and come into the Biafran struggle, they forget about the suffering of the people. They forget about their homeland. They begin to carry themselves up. And they pull their eyes off the ball. That is my appeal. Because if you do better, you will reduce the suffering of your people. Most of you people want to go back home. So you should be more encompassing. But don't forget, not everybody will see eyeball to eyeball with you. My own former professor, who was my thesis reader, he's from Biafra land. I can assure you that's my very good friend. But because of all what is going on, he doesn't see the Biafran struggle the way others see it. Because what happened in Biafra land, in the barbarism that took place in that land, in the days of Brother Ojukwu and others.
Between 1967 and 70,
yeah. I know. He's scared of it. So he sees it differently. And
so now, doctor, that brings the question of, you talked about the older generation, and people are asking, in a situation where the younger generation lose trust in the older generation, how do you reconcile that? Because there are a lot of young people who do no longer trust the older generation because of the antecedents of some of the older generation. They feel they have been sold out by this older generation, that they are supposed to, the older generation is supposed to stand for them in the gap and protect their interest and right. But in the situation we find ourselves today, the older generation of Biafrans, who we are supposed to look up to, the political class, have completely betrayed the young generation, and there is no trust in between. How do we reconcile that?
First, don't look at the older generation from the so-called political class. That is the first error you people are making. That's the first error. Second, anytime the younger generation, in whatever category, begin to develop mistrust on the older generation, what they should do is to organize themselves than to go out on a barrage of insults. That's not going to solve the problem. Let me give you an example. It might sound crazy. If 500 dedicated young men and women in Biafra land decides that the moment to liberate our homeland have started, they put themselves together and begin something, it is going to be a situation where it will be one for all and all for one. So you cannot sit there because you don't have trust in these people. We also have an older generation. I went to meetings with them when it was not working. I told them that we are involved in this because they failed us. And if they're not ready to do things right, I will take the bull by the horn. That is what I did in 1997. I took the bull by the horn. I did not wait on them. I accused them. I was supposed to be in class. I was supposed to be doing my university studies, but I was on the streets, working with them day in, day out. Some of them, their own children were in universities abroad. Why they were the ones who put us in the situation where we find ourselves. So I had no time to wait for them. So the younger generation should organize themselves rather than waste their energy insulting and trying to attack this generation. No, organize yourself because it is your future which is at stake. Some of these people are already nearer their end. When you liberate yourself, you will liberate their grandchildren and their grandchildren's grandchildren. So you put yourself together and start doing what is important. That is what I did. That is what my generation did. So you don't lose trust and you think the best way of solving the problem is to go after them with a barrage of attacks on Facebook and as I see people do. It's a waste of energy. It's not going to do anything. You cannot insult these people to their death. The only thing you can do is put your hands together, re-strategize because you have the energy. In fact, when you start doing the things that will make them uncomfortable, then you know what will happen. I don't need to say some of those things, but that is exactly what you have to do. You don't reorganize yourself and tell them that this is our future, which is at stake. And now it is time for us to move forward. You don't do that, like as I said, in personality calls or going online and you use every opportunity. You call this one, you insult. You say, oh, you call Wazirike, you describe him until the day he will die. If you don't have trust in him, there are some other young men and women you can have trust in, work with them. If you see this one you don't have trust in,
yes,
put yourself together. But they are
beautiful.
They are
Yeah, doctor, I think so far,
yeah.
the new IPOB have been able to generate elders even within the IPOB structure who I think have been able to prove they have integrity. Like you said, that we shouldn't look up to the political class, which is a very clear statement. And IPOB have been able to generate elders who has what it takes, to stand in the gap. I want to see if Mazi Solomon. Yeah, Mazi Solomon, we can still hear you. Unfortunately, Mazi Solomon, we can't still hear you. It's crazy. You just muted yourself. No, I cannot hear you. You unmuted yourself, but I cannot still hear you.
What system is he using?
Mazi Solomon, but can you hear us? Can you hear us? Okay, he can hear us, but we cannot hear him.
Okay, the
so
system
I think
he's using, I don't know whether it's a desktop or a laptop or a phone. If he's using a system, what he should do is you reboot the entire system. Switch off, reboot it, and then you come back. I don't know whether you have done that. Reboot it.
Yeah, I think that is what he has to do right now. Let's see if he can come back. So, like I said earlier on, within the IPOB structure, we've been able to create wonderful, beautiful men and women of integrity who can stand in between the gap. When it comes to the political class, it's completely a total story entirely. And we hope that as time goes on, they will come to the reality of the fact of their responsibility towards their people. I don't think it will be, nice to completely rule the political class off. I believe that it might take time for us to bring them to the table where they can understand they owe it as a responsibility to represent their people adequately and listen to the demand of the people. I wanted Mazi Solomon to be here with us because we'll be talking briefly about the de facto and the customary government. And Mazi Solomon's perspective would be very, very, very important. His input and his analysis will be very, very important. And but I don't know, what is your knowledge about a de facto government?
This is the
Doctor.
question I need to ask you first before I respond to that question. The people of Biafra, what exactly do you want? One, do you want internal self-determination? Internal self-determination means you will remain with the confines called Nigeria, but you will have greater autonomy. You want changes in system where you people can maybe make certain laws for yourself, run certain things for yourself, have a laxity, a certain level of independence within the confines of Nigeria? Or do you want external self-determination? Because if I don't know how to respond to that question.
Yes. What IPOB stand for is the possibility of having the opportunity to vote for a referendum for the people to determine if they want to remain within the confines of Nigeria. And if the people decide through referendum to remain within the confines of Nigeria, then we cannot determine what basis. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I have understood what you are saying, but let me tell you that is a wrong approach. I'm
Okay.
saying it, I'm not hiding it's a wrong approach. First, let me put it this way. If you are Nigeria, you are the federal government of Nigeria, knowing very well that the outcome of the 1967, the brutal civil war, is one in which tacitly the people from that region were being punished up to date for having started, based on the logic, having started that war. That is why the roads, everything's are bad. Though when you talk to people, they say, oh, we have politicians from that area and the rest. No, it's the system. Now, if you find yourself that you are Nigeria, the federal government, knowing fully well that if I call for a referendum peacefully, I just allow these people to have a peaceful decision using the ballot box on their own, they are going to opt out. Whether you like it or not, the majority of Biafrans at this moment, especially that the majority of Biafrans are youth. In all the Biafran states in Nigeria, the youth dominate. If you call for a referendum as Nigeria, you said, okay, we allow you to have a referendum to decide your fate. The Biafrans will opt out. So I'm asking you this question openly to the rest of the world. If you are Nigeria, will you, just while you are sitting on your laurel, without being forced, allow Biafrans to vote to decide their fate? Because that voting would be only in Biafra land to decide their fate within Nigeria or not. Will you do that?
Definitely. If I were to be in a position to make that decision, I'm not just only going to give Biafran the possibility to decide through referendum. I'm going to give everybody in Nigeria the possibility to decide, because we've seen other agitators.
Let me interject here. Let me interject here. You are speaking like a Biafran. You are not speaking from the perspective of objectivity. I want to be frank to you. No Nigerian president, no Nigerian leader, no Nigerian Senate or Assembly, not anywhere in the world, this world where we find ourselves at this stage, we allow that to happen without being forced to do it. Because when you do that, the individual or the individual entity that does that disintegrate that country, whether you like it or not, you do that, it's going to disintegrate it. That is why I use the word without being forced. Because when you spoke, I listened to you. It seems as if it's a walk in the park where you can, through demonstrations and all whatnot, which of course is not going to be permitted normally, other things will come up. Force the federal government to say, okay, I agree with you, you can go and hold a referendum. Remember, the only reason there was a referendum in South Sudan was that they fought two brutal civil wars. And that referendum was not organized by Sudan. It was organized by the international community under the auspices of the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. There must be outsiders who will come in to say it should happen. There is no reason for outsiders to come to Nigeria at this moment to say there should be a referendum in Biafra land. What have you done that warrant outsiders to come in? They see it as an internal issue. That is what it remains. And if anyone is thinking that Nigeria, whether it is Buhari is no longer there, you take even somebody from the East at this moment and put there as president, is going to sit and declare the death of that federal system. You are lying to yourself. You can only force them to do that. If you are not ready to force them to see reason to do that, they will never do it. And if you are put in that position, you yourself will not permit it. So that is
Well, I'm not.
like this,
I'm not in that position. I'm not in that position. I'm not in that position. But if I were to be in that position with the knowledge that I have, it will be the best decision to be made. Let's see if Mazi Solomon.
I'm understanding you. I'm trying to articulate something for the benefit of
No, absolutely.
And I'm sure many are understanding what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to find a means to get the federal government to reach somewhere in the middle with you to agree that, okay, the way we can solve this problem is a referendum. But before you even go there, that is why I say you need to make them work towards that direction. Because what you are saying to me, I've heard it before amongst Biafrans. I've heard different shades of opinion. But if you are not ready to force them and you see it that way, I am beginning to think that it is more of an internal self-determination. That you want to take the step of internal self-determination and then maybe gradually use that to move towards external self-determination. And you think if you can have internal self-determination, it will give you room somewhere along the line to move to external self-determination. If that is possible, and it has been tested somewhere before, I agree with you. But
yeah,
with the reaction of
yes, I think Solomon is with us finally. Mazi Solomon, I want to say thank you. I think you've wasted a lot of time. I can see tension on your face. I can see some level of disappointment. But it's okay. It's part of the game. Can you please introduce yourself so Doctor can know you before you proceed?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor in the studio. Good morning from my end here, Sydney, Australia. The time now is 9:55 a.m. at my own end here. So this is my first time meeting you, and I said good morning from my end. Thank you for honoring the call for you to be here this morning, explain issues, and also motivate Biafrans and the African general, as many that wanted self-determinations and the freedom at their end. And I will also say greeting to Ambazonians, fighters and freedom fighters, and greeting to Biafran all over the world. And I will also say greeting to the lovers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the haters of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and all the lovers of freedoms all over the world. We bring greeting to you at this very moment. My name is Solomon Peter. You are usual guest in this very platform. So I have heard all that the doctor was trying to narrate, but specifically, we must try to be very, very objective. Number one point why doctor was invited in this very program to give clarifications that actually he approached Biafrans, the leadership of IPOB, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in the prison, that actually approached them to have the opportunity to unite with other pro-Biafran groups. And we just want to get that clarification from him, and to him to say it with his mouth that is exactly what happened. And then as of the time it happens, we will be able to find out from him who was in charge. Who was he recommended to be in charge of the administrations of IPOB at that very time? I think that is the reason why we are here. But I have also had the doctor explain, but I have to repeat my questions because I was struggling to come here and it wasn't working. So, doctor, is it real that you actually approach the administrative head of IPOB to unite all the pro-Biafrans group together as to march forward, as to have one front as regards to self-determination and the seek for freedom for Biafran? Did you actually did that job? How did it ended? And
Yes, I did.
who made it impossible? Who made it impossible at the time when you give that approach? That is the number one clarifications we want to have in this very program. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, we did. Thank you very much, Comrade Solomon. We did.
Yeah, that's my name, Solomon.
Yes, we did that as under the auspices of the Organization of Emerging African States. And to the best of my knowledge, we actually sent out written invitations. The invitations were not verbal. We sent out written invitations. If we look somewhere within our archives, we might be able to locate some of them. I think Dr. Chukuma Egemba also have some of them, because we sent out invitations, and the ones that we could not reach the people directly, we asked him to give us their emails and phone numbers. It is true that means that I was able to talk to a host of Biafrans that I did not know. I called them over the phone. I put airtime. I called most of the Biafrans. I communicated with a lot of people in Biafra land and those who were not in Biafra land, those who were able to come and not to come. And to the best of my knowledge, I think it was Comrade Uchemefo who was the head of Biafra at that time. There was also
please can you bring in the beautiful daughter? Bring in the beautiful daughter. She wants to be included in the program.
It's my grandchild. This is my grandchild.
Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So shut the door, Mama. I think there was also Comrade Clifford Iroanya. At that time, he too was there. He was one of the people who at that time was very, very vocal and also against what we were doing. It was Uchemefo and I think Clifford, who is here with me in the US. Clifford had communications with me. In fact, at one time, it was very heated. They were extremely rude to me. They were extremely personally rude to me. It was like something that was personal at one time. But I understood where they were coming from. So every other group that we consulted came, but also because of the reaction of IPOB actually stopped. There were IPOBs who were in Nigeria who wanted to come. They have reached out that they were ready to come.
Doctor, please, let's be more specific here. When you are saying IPOB, IPOB is a very vast, big body, but they always have administrative head. They always have somebody who is standing in the place of decisions for them at all times. Like today, Mazi is recognized as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. So all Biafrans are not the mouthpiece of all IPOB are not the mouthpiece of the organization or the movement, but one person always speaks for us at any point in time. So I wanted you to be specific. What role did Uchemefo play at that very time?
No, I've given you the response. I am not here, like as I said, to go after individuals. I'm telling you the people that I communicated with or in the course of this organization were communicated to. Uchemefo was running the show. I don't know many of the people who are at the helm. And I can remember Dr. Clifford because I've met with him here in DC. And by then, I did not even know he was in DC. They were the ones running the show. But Uchemefo, the message he sent to us was very clear. That based on orders from Nnamdi Kanu in prison, IPOB will not be participating in whatever we have organized. And the IPOBs who were on ground zero in Nigeria or in Biafra land who were willing to show up, they used Radio Biafra to make sure that none of them come to that program. And they discussed about it on the air. It was not something that is hidden. It was discussed on the air that, which
most of us also followed. We also followed. Yes. I remember the approach. I remember how at the time how you were demonized and a lot of things said against you, and we all believed it because our deputy leader told us that Dr. Akwanga You know, he's trying to redirect IPOB in the wrong direction. But
let me come in here. Let me come in. Sorry for interjecting. You see, this platform you have is very powerful. When you have an instrument, they used to say communication, or in other words, journalism, or journalists are the fourth arm of government, or the fourth arm of power, or whatever word you want to use. When you have these tools, you don't use them well, you can destroy more than what a military, well-trained military can do. And that is exactly what Radio Biafra was used at that moment. We went forward. If they had come, I am telling you, people would have gone further. And I'm sure because of the population that IPOB had at that time, you would have had some dominance in that meeting. You would have been able to shape it with your own opinion, with your own brothers and sisters from different entities who were there. But Uchemefo made it very clear that nobody was coming. It was not authorized. That is the way to use it. It was not authorized. Unfortunately, IPOB did not have the powers to authorize a conference that was called by the Organization of Emerging African States. It wasn't called by the Biafrans. It was a US-based charity calling this everyone to come together because we thought we were neutral. And the Biafrans have registered into the Organization of Emerging African States as Biafra, not as individual entities. There's Biafra there like a state. So we have to deal with it. So we're just calling the people to bring them together and let the people see it and discuss upon themselves on how they want to chart their way forward. But they kill it. It took place, no doubt. They were not there. And we should always recognize the importance of IPOB as an entity, the way they could galvanize the young people and all the rest. So they missed that opportunity. They missed it. They killed it from that angle. But it went forward because those who came from Nigeria, we met for 2 days, had the meetings, and then they went back to Nigeria. Then I flew back to London.
Okay, Doctor, please, Mazi Pat, I want you to give me a little opportunity so that I can be able to get my questions across to Doctor. Doctor, since after the incident of mixing that opportunity to bring the pro-Biafran together and the join to the conference as being recommended, and the IPOB head at that time refuses to cooperate. So since after that time, have you been contacted by any of these IPOB administrators? Like, have you been contacted by Uchemofo after refusing that very offer, or any other IPOB principal officers who have been in the head of affair as of that time? Have you been contacted by any of them? Is there been any personal chat or any personal discourse after that? Please, can you help me with the question?
Is it to revisit the issue of the time?
The issue
No, we have not been. I've not been contacted. We have not been contacted. The only person who was part of IPOB who is no longer there that I have met in another Biafran forum where I was invited to come and speak is Clifford Irwanya. But after the gathering in 2015, I've been to Nigeria, and I've even attended a meeting where I was invited. What they call the customary, is it a government?
Customary government, yeah.
Yes,
customary
they had a meeting in
where you find,
they have a meeting at where you find the University of is it the University of Nsukka, something like that?
Yeah, Enugu State.
Yeah.
Yes, at Enugu, yes, exactly. They had a meeting somewhere there, and I was invited. I went there, I greeted the people, and I spent quite a very short time there. Then I left back to Abuja. Then I came back to Lagos, and then I flew out of the country back to the US. So I continue to coalesce with Biafrans, but no individual authority of IPOB has reached out to me, though I've got a few IPOBs who are members who follow me on Facebook, and some are just zealous. They just come in and throw their normal stuff, and then they go. So, but no official contacts on whether we can do this again or not. Though some other Biafrans have reached out and tried to ask whether we can find a way to bring everybody again together. And we said, We'll be willing to do that, but we need to see that the Biafrans are still themselves willing to come together. Then we'll be able to see what we can do.
Okay, thank you very much for providing a fantastic answer to the questions that I threw onto you. I'm very sorry because we are just looking for clarifications of issues. So actually, nobody has called you as to ratify what happened on or on whose authority that very offer was turned down. So nobody has contacted you directly as to discuss these very particular things on whose authority that very offer was turned down. So that is very good. So, Doctor, you are welcome here. We are discussing this. We are discussing in this hour in the Biafran television in Facebook here, in Facebook page. So. These very platforms are being set up by IPOB leadership. So we are here representing Biafrans and representing IPOB, and we are not biased. We only looking for a way forward for the freedom of our people, for the freedom of Ambazonia, for the freedom of Biafrans, for the freedom of Oduduwa, for the freedom of the Middle Belt, for the freedom of Arewa, as many indigenous people that are being trapped in the contraction called Nigeria. We are seeking for their freedom in this very platform. And as IPOB, the leader of IPOB, we normally says that we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. Actually, I don't know if you have come across what IPOB are actually doing, or what IPOB are meant for. So we have had this issue of distrust and the issue of betrayals as to regard to Biafran struggle, and some people using the struggles to enrich themselves. So now to enrich themselves in one way or the other, and that is not for the betterment of the masses who are suffering under Nigerian government. So the rising of IPOB is to make sure that these things are being well scrutinized, that people are being that the genuine people are being harnessed as to face the struggle, as to represent the people, as to fight for the freedom of the people. Because no matter how long you waste in the hand of the wrong people, they will also one way or the other dump you halfway. So IPOP are reason to make sure that any gathering or any individual coming out to stand for Biafran should be somebody who is genuine in the heart. Because like as you now, as this experience you have and the knowledge you have, and then as expert you are, if you are not genuine, do you think that you can be able to achieve the struggle of your people, despite your level of being expertise and your level of educations and knowledge you have acquired or being elder? Then if somebody is not genuine in heart, is it possible with the knowledge, with the professionalism and other things, do you think they can achieve the freedom of their people when they are not genuine?
Solomon, my dear brother, there is a statement which is said in literature, and it was actually opined by a famous British. There is no art that you can read the mind's construction on the face. Genuinity can never be found in the heart. It is found in expression, how people express themselves. Then you can judge that they are genuine. It is not how much I tell you that I'm genuine, I'm good, that makes me good. It is based on the things I do that makes me good. So you can never judge genuinity on speculation. You can never judge truthfulness on speculation. You can only judge it how people carry themselves out. The way they carry themselves, not just the things they say, but the things they do, makes them to become genuine. We have a problem in Africa where we like this big man stuff, this big manism.
There is noise on your background. Can you please checkmate that? There is this movement of noise on your background that is interfering with doctor's interaction. Doctor, please proceed.
Yeah, so I was trying to say that the appeal I've given to Biafrans from a human rights perspective, and I'm giving it here to every IPOB who is watching me. You should know that As much as you have the strength and the zeal to bring in the young men and women who are so vocal and devoted, you need other Biafran entity. There are some other groups in Biafra land. They might not be as numerically populated as you are. They are there, and they are good men and women in those groups who can lock hands together to work together. Because the problem we have, and is one of the problems that face IPOB. IPOB miscalculated. I want to say this very well. Everybody knew how popular IPOB was. The young people were looking for someone who is vibrant, who is, in quote, fearless, who can do the things that other people were scared of doing. And they found that in IPOB. And at that time, IPOB leadership. But IPOB leadership removed their eyes off the ball. They thought that what they have found in them will remain there in eternity. No, they wanted to go alone. You can't do that. You can go ahead and others can lock hands with you and then you achieve the goal for the good of everybody. That is where the issue is. That is where the issue is. Because there was no reason why Uche Mefo said they shouldn't come to the meeting in Ghana. It was simply because he thought that since IPOB was that large, popular, they should be the one to organize that type of gathering. He made a mistake to understand that there are people there who, for no reason which is positive, do not want to have anything to do with IPOB. Others were just maybe jealous of the popularity and the strength of the group. Others have genuine concern of certain people were maybe at the helm of IPOB or the attitudes of some of the young men and women. So what they were supposed to do was to capitalize. When you know who you are, you don't run your enemy. If your enemy calls you for discussion, you go meet your enemy because you know there is no way your enemy can beat you in that discussion. When you don't know who you are, where you think that you are weaker, you start running. You have the power to come together.
Doctor. Can I put a question across, Doctor?
Mazi Pat, please give me one moment.
Yeah.
Give me one moment.
Okay.
Yeah, give me one moment. Okay. I want to ask Doctor another question now.
Okay.
How is the struggle of Ambazonia at this level?
Good question. The Ambazonia struggle is suffering the malaise that the Biafran struggle is still going through. The only advantage of the Ambazonian struggle, because the two struggles have one and the same, they have almost one and the same problem. It is the problem of governance, where people have failed to liberate themselves, but they want to govern themselves first. You cannot govern without liberation. It's not going to work. You can call yourself anything, because I was asked that question here by my other brother, I think it's George, that what do I think about like the customary government or what? So the Ambazonian problem that we have is that for almost 4 years that we have been fighting, a vast majority of, in quote, our leadership have not been struggling to liberate our land. They have been struggling to govern that land that they have not liberated. You get me? They have been struggling to govern it. People arrogate upon themselves titles. They take this title, they take that title. It is like, if I go with you, I will lose in quote, the imaginary authority that I have. Because all of us who don't have control of our homelands don't have any authority. Because if we have authority, by the time I take a decision, La Republic will come with bombs and they will come and disperse everybody there. But if I have authority, I tell them you will not enter here, they will not enter. So that is the first recognition we need to have. So the Ambazonian struggle is going on, no doubt. We have made strides. The international community is looking upon us. And then you have just reminded me of something. You see the proximity of our natural borders. As I've said it time and time again, it will be foolhardy for any Biafran to think that if you see an Ambazonian or an Ambazonian who is involved in the struggle, instead of that person becomes your sister or your brother, you need to kick them out. Whether we like it or not, we might not love ourselves, let me put it that way, but nature has bound us together. So in one way or the other, the freedom of one will have an impact on the situation of the other. And if the other, the lack of freedom of one is going to impact the struggle of the other, whether you like it or not. So if people don't see it this way and realize that it is not us, those of us who say we are Christians, we did not choose that land. God put us where we are. He did not choose. Why did Biafrans would have been in the north of, they would have been in Yola and the rest. But look at where they are located. So there is this natural borders that put us together. We don't need to go to the historical part that we have been together in the Eastern Regional House of Assembly and the rest. So our struggle is going on, but I cannot tell you that it is not having its own ups and downs. Every true struggle does not move on a straight line. It must move through curves and bends. In the course of that curves and bends, people begin to find themselves. People begin to realize that they cannot do it only on their own. They need the help of the Almighty God. They need the help of our foreparents who have gone ahead of us to put their blessings upon all what we are doing. So that an individual don't come and say, I did it by myself. It will be that we did it all together with the blessings maybe of God and our foreparents. So we are moving forward.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Another question that I want to put through to you is this. We had through the news and most of the news in the internet that Ambazonia, they have already engaged into armed struggle. Is this true?
No, armed struggle has been going on for 4 years now. 4 years we have been fighting. I myself, I am the leader of the Southern Cameroon's Defense Force. The Southern Cameroon Defense Force was founded in 1995. It's the first self defense force because when we created the Southern Cameroon's Youth League, which I was the architect of when I left the university, the first thing we decided was that we cannot make the state of Cameroon to listen to us. We cannot make the international community to listen to us until we are compelled to carry up arms. We didn't carry arms because we want to kill people. We carry arms because the arms that we carry became the biggest whistle in a bigger football field that all the spectators and the players of both sides can listen to. If we did not carry up arms, there would have been no struggle at this moment. Unfortunately, that is how the world is. It is the arms that we carry to defend ourselves because we're being killed that has now compelled the rest of the world to say, hey, there is a problem. Let us look into it. If we were just demonstrating, marching on the street every day and they're killing our people, we can do that for the next 50 years. Nobody will give a damn. After that, demonstrations all over the place. Here, there's demonstration in Atlanta. People march here. Black lives march here, they kill them. Black Lives Matter, they march here, they kill them. It will not be different. So you need to change the language. If you want to invite the international community, you need to ask yourself, what should I do to make the rest of the world to focus on us? It is unfortunate, Solomon, that the world only goes where there is violence. It's unfortunate.
Thank you for that point. Thank you for that point, Doctor. I want to ask you, second to the last question that I have for you. Now, can you tell the world, the Biafrans watching us here, how much attention has the international community given to Ambazonia since the time they engaged into armed struggle? How much attention have they given to Ambazonia citizens?
Thank you very much. I will sitting here. I've been having meetings. I have meetings with the UN, the United Nations. They reach out. We have meetings. We are discussing on how we can bring the arms conflict to an end through a negotiated settlement. Because for me, the only reason why we carry up arms was because we need peace. We have never had peace in that triangle. All what we have had is what I call a negative temporal peace, which has been an issue of fear rather than true peace. So we need true peace. That is why we carry up arms to say we want to be in a peaceful country of our own where we can decide our affairs. So when it comes to international attention, it is there. You remember that the Southern Cameroon Defense Force, which I had, was the first non-state actor group in the world to hit to what the UN Secretary General called for. Gutierrez asked for ceasefire when the COVID-19 started. We were the first to declare a unilateral ceasefire. The second group is the group that is Kurdistan up there in Iraq. And the UN Security Council, the Secretary General of the UN, made a statement in which he mentioned us, Sokadef, in it. And he mentioned us in Kurdistan. That is wider publicity. Within a very short time, the UN can talk about us because they recognize what we are doing and who we are. So we understand international norms, and we followed what the Secretary General said, that COVID is killing our people, so we should have a unilateral ceasefire. Unilateral ceasefire means there wasn't an agreement between both parties fighting. We decided on our own that we will not shoot you if you don't shoot us, so that humanitarian workers can come in and help people in the period of the pandemic. But if you attack us, we will fight back. That is what they call unilateral ceasefire, different from normal ceasefire, which is negotiated. You negotiate normal ceasefire. Unilateral is you taking that decision on your own. That's why they use the word unilateral. Equally,
thank you, Doctor.
I've had a series of international meetings with diplomats and the rest also.
Thank you for that.
Yes, Mazi Solomon, I read through the comment.
Question.
By the way, the number is open. The line is open for those who want to call in. And before you make your contribution, Mazi Solomon, there is something I want to tell Doctor as regard to the popularity of IPOB in the Biafra struggle. To be frank with you, Dr. IPOB have made great strides and they are still making very big progress by the day. And the popularity of IPOB continues to grow on a daily basis. As much as we know that some people have left, but the more people leave, you even have the higher number of people, joining, and because people are beginning to understand the philosophy, understand the position of IPOB, and more people are joining the struggle through IPOB. Because when you say IPOB was popular, it will seem as if IPOB is no longer popular. So the popularity is still strong, very, very strong, and that can be guaranteed. Mazi Solomon, when you bring in your question, I will also be able to comment further. By the way, the line is open for those who want to call in to make their contribution or ask Doctor your question. If you feel Doctor is not making sense, come and ask him your question so he can make sense to you. Mazi Solomon, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Mazi Pat. Okay. So we are dwelling much on the freedoms of our people today. And IPOB is a popular movement. The most, Mazi Nandekanu will always say that the highest, the largest movement in the world. So we are no doubt about that, but popularities and the numbers is not what we are discussing. We are just discussing the freedoms of our people and what guarantee the freedoms of our people. Mazi Nandekan will always say that 100 men, if he finds 100 men that are committed, then he can restore Biafras with them. So Mazi Pat will move forward. Nobody is arguing that. Everybody knows how popular IPOB is. So the question I want to ask Doctor today is that, Doctor, there is this subject today that we are hearing by the same group of people who rejected the cooperation of others at the time when you approached them, and there is this subject in which they have brought on the table as an argument today, on which few of them comes out in the internet and they declare this very subject as de facto customary government. What is, as an expert, what do you have in stock as to regard to such declaration and the subject in particular, de facto customary government? How does it help Biafrans in their struggle for independence?
Is it the government that is being headed by my good friend Dokobo? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Doctor, go ahead.
We can hear you. Go on, Doctor.
Asking, is it the customary government which is being headed by my good friend Asari Dokobo? It's a question I'm asking first.
Yes, Doctor, what is the question?
I was asking that the de facto customary government, is it the one that is being headed by Asari Dokobo?
Yeah, that is the question. That is what Mazi Solomon is referring to.
Okay, now there is someone whose network is making a lot of jittering.
Yeah. Mazi Solomon. I think
this is the first thing I want to say.
Muted and the noise is still on. I think Mazi Party, you can also
Let me help to mute you officially, Mazi Solomon. Don't worry.
Yes, I am here because I understand the sufferings of the Biafrans, and like as I said, I am a Secretary General of an organization which Biafra is part of it. I do not want at any
Doctor,
time
hold on, doctor, please, doctor, you need to understand my question. I don't
no,
want
I want to respond to your question. I want to respond
yes,
to your
yes,
question.
yes, but I want you to understand the question because I was not putting Asri Dokubo here. I'm putting the subject, de facto customary government.
Yes, I get you.
This is a subject.
I'm going
This
to
subject.
respond to
so
that.
we
Now.
want to
I'm
discuss
coming
on
back
that subject, not on the individual. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, I know. I just asked a question equally. So I'm not going to talk about the individual. I'm not here for that. What I want to find out is I want you people to understand is that there was something I discussed a few minutes ago to find out what exactly are the people of Biafra looking for. Whether they were looking for external self-determination, that is to be a country of their own, or internal self-determination where they could be in some sort of, in quote, a confederacy where they have greater autonomy, they can run their own affairs, certain affairs, but other affairs are not being run by them. The reason I asked that question was because one of the things I have condemned, and history has proven me right, is that if you want to liberate yourself, no matter what, you do not form a government. I'm saying that because we are facing that same problem in our struggle. If you are working towards liberation, you do not form a government. If you think that you want to put an entity together, you can form a liberation council. And when you form that liberation council, you can give people any titles you want to give to them. Fine. But you form a liberation council. Because the question I'm asking is, if you form a de facto, in quote, government within the confines of Nigeria, and the state of Nigeria doesn't come after you, it is because security-wise they have looked at you and you are wanting. They think that you guys are not serious. You are, in quote, they see you like jokers. You are not a threat to them. You are not a single threat to them. So you are like jokers. You are just like a traditional council that has been formed somewhere in the village where they are supposed to be part of the arm of the federal government, because the traditional council is there to work with the other local authorities, that local authorities work with state authorities. So it's just like that, work now with the federal government. So I am against this government, whether you call it de facto or whatsoever. But I'm not against a people reorganizing themselves with something that has to do with what exactly they're looking for. Are you trying to govern or you are trying to liberate? That is the question. Are you trying to free yourself or you are trying to capture authority? So these are the issues. Because if you put the cart ahead, you are going to have trouble. The moment you start talk of de facto government, you start talk of this government or that government, it's the beginning of trouble. I can assure you, as human beings, people will move their eyes off the ball and they will start debating and arguing over different things. For how many years that we organize this stuff in Africa to bring the Biafrans together? As much as IPOB is there and the others are there, if I ask a simple question, that technically, what have the people of Biafra achieved? I'm sorry to say this. From what I know and what I've seen, you have achieved nothing. The spirit that you used to awaken the people, you have IPOB groups in Germany all over. I knew them. I knew about that. That spirit, it is not whether people are living it or not. You need to move forward. Take that strength that you have and move forward. Make sure you achieve something significant. And something significant is not only getting your leaders out of prison or them living in exile or somewhere. It's asking yourself, what do we want to achieve? Do we want to achieve that we are the largest group in Biafra land, or want to achieve something for Biafra land? So a de facto government, for me, from what I understand, is a non-starter. Whether it is for internal self-determination or is for external self-determination, it will bring further wranglings and arguments amongst you people for nothing. You will remove your eyes off the ball. You can organize a liberation council. You can organize something else that has nothing with no word government in it. That is the word you should do everything to avoid. Because I'm telling you, you don't do that. Huh?
Yeah, doctor, I beg to disagree with you when it comes to
Your system is frozen. So, but
Yes, doctor. I think Mazi Pat is the one having that problem at his end. Okay. I just want to ask
yeah.
him
So I
one
think I
question
had
because
this.
he wanted to
I had
disagree with you
network.
based on the achievement aspect. He said we have achieved nothing, but we want to disagree with you because our achievement is outstanding in the sense that in the self-determinations, number one is for people to organize themselves and they get awake to the reality of what they wanted to achieve. And that we have achieved it in both. That there is so many awakened individuals, Biafran all over the world, who are determined and who know exactly what they want to achieve. So that is a great achievement of his own, that we are no more struggling in that very aspect. But let's just move forward. Anybody can disagree to agree. So maybe you have to revisit the achievement of IPOB again in order to agree with us. But
Yeah,
now I
yeah.
want to
What's going on? I would have liked to learn my voice. I would have liked to learn my voice. You know, I love the spirit of Dr. Akwanga, and I can understand his perspective. You know, Dr. Akwanga is somebody who has a very high standard. He's somebody who loves to see things move very fast in the right direction. And he has also admitted that struggles like this have ups and downs, challenges here and there. I believe that when Dr. Akwanga said that IPOB have not achieved nothing, I believe he's trying to tell us to do more because I believe because he have also said it even at the beginning of the program that you know the gathering of Biafrans all over the world is something that we should take advantage of, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of commitment to be able to wake people up to understand the battle they should be fighting or the challenges before them. And the leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, have taken his time, toured all over the world, traveling from Japan to uh, all over Asia and Europe. That is a lot of hard work. And we have to give it to him, Doctor. Despite the fact there is still a lot of work to be done, the awakening alone is the first and the right step in the direction. Now, the energy that has been gathered is what we are talking about. How do we direct this energy to achieving the right result? So, but when it comes to achievement,
I think you are right. Let me
yes.
withdraw that statement of saying that you have not achieved anything. I think let me put it this way. I expected a lot. Let me be very frank. I know Biafrans, and I know when our own struggle caught fire from so many years. Frankly, I personally expected a lot, because
I understand you, Doctor.
yes,
I
I know that
understand you.
I
I
know that there is
understand
the
you.
power. I know that there is the know-how, and I know that there is the capabilities, which some other struggles don't have that you people have. But I think that yes, you've achieved a very great awareness. Your awareness campaign has been very successful. I was with Biafrans in South Africa several times. They invited me. I went there. I spoke when they were doing Remembrance Day. They were doing Remembrance Day. I was with Biafrans in South Africa. They invited me when they knew I was in town for something else. So much has been done towards that regard. But you need to do more. So that is why I keep saying that. For me,
absolutely. That is why I try to.
It's like a father talking to the children that you have not done anything yet.
Doctor, you know, when you speak, it is difficult for an average person listening to you to understand from the point you are coming from. But I can understand your point. Not everybody will. Some people will look at you and say, oh, let this man off this platform. Let him get away. We don't want to hear him. A lot of people will say, because they cannot reason beyond certain levels. But I can tell you that I can understand. I can also tell you that within your heart of heart, from the way you speak and the way you've upheld IPOB, I can see that you are in some ways proud of what IPOB have achieved, even if you don't want to, you know, sing those praises because you are expecting us to do more. And I want our people to, you know, try to reason beyond the words, you know, and see more deeper, you know, from, you know, what we say sometimes. Because you need to read in between the lines to really understand. And I know that Dr. Akwanga is proud of Mazi and the achievement of IPOB. But what he's trying to do is to make us not to be carried away with where we are today, to be able to understand that we have a bigger fight ahead of us, that we have bigger challenges ahead of us. I think we have a caller, if you can permit me, Mazi Solomon. I know you have many other calls. A caller from Netherlands, please, can you, hello caller, welcome. Thank you for staying long anyway, for being patient with us.
Thank you, Mazi, Patrick, and also Solomon in the studio, and also our guest, Dr. Akwanga. Greetings to you from Netherlands. My name is Most Favourable. I must start by commending you for honoring our invitation or speaking to Biafrans. But I actually do not have a question, but what I have is just a suggestion. Now, and this goes this way. I heard Doctor, he said a couple of things like that we need to bring or join the other Biafran group, and he has said this over and over again. But what I want to say is this, Doctor, to be honest to you, Biafran or the IPOB you know back then in 2016 is far more different from the IPOB you know now. 2016, we are just barely 4 years old then. And then the number might not be as much as it is not anywhere how we are today. 2016, we are part of or you were trying to organize, and then there were Ambazonia and so many other groups, and your core mandate there was you are trying to join all these people together. But to tell you nothing but the fact is that 80% of people that constitute that very territory today are all IPOB. We number in millions. So you will not be taking the perspective of 2016 into the reality of 2021. Doctor, we number in millions. So, you know, other group, there are no other group. If there are one, he could just be the head of that group and maybe his two executives. Where the number is in IPOB. There is no other voice that has been sounding since 2012 till now, if not the voice of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian government feared him. That is one. Then the other thing I want to add is, when it comes to our achievement or what we've done, you expect so much from us. That I know very well. But Doctor, let me also say this. Human beings are one of the most difficult things to control, more especially Africans, because of our level of civilization. We are very far from being mentally civilized. So, as in taking arms into the hand of these people, at the first very time, it will result in more negative and unsuccessful and unfruitful mission. we know why we failed the first war. So now the first thing where our leader and IPOB today is to first sensitize our people and tell us the need for what we are looking for. Not just come and take arms or let's just enter armed struggle. That is not the force. And I will believe that the leadership of this very movement as today, Mazi is doing it perfectly fine. We need to educate the minds of black people first before we give them arms. That is fine. And the last thing, there was a question Dr. Hans asked, and Mazi Patrick, to me, I feel that you did not answer the question very well. Dr. Art, he said, what do you people want? Do you want internal self-determination or external self-determination? I'm not speaking for millions of Biafra, but I'm speaking at least I'm speaking for the majority of the minds of Biafra. What IPOB and the majority represent is our
We are having breakage.
The British. Okay, let me just round up. So what we represent or what IPOB represent is total outright freedom. Biafran nation, nothing more, nothing. We need to be free internally, externally from that British created contraption called Nigeria. Thank you for giving me the time.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have another caller from the United Kingdom. Hold on, please. Doctor, before we proceed, we have a call from the UK. Hello, caller from the UK. Thank you for holding on.
You're welcome. Thank you. My name is Obioha. Obioha is calling. And I have a question for that dog. Our
Doctor, please pay attention. There is a question for you.
People say, show me your friend. I tell you who you are. If he can be here telling us that his best friend is an Asri Dukubo, can't we know exactly the type of person he is? What is Asri Dukubo got to do with Biafra? Asri Dukubo is his friend. What is the point of him standing there talking to Biafra? That's the question, please.
Can I answer?
Are you through with your question?
I just want him to answer the question. So I
yes,
ask him another question.
That is what I want to do. That is what I want to do.
Okay. Allow doctor to respond to that question, please.
You see, this is the problem that I said is not affecting just activists of IPOB, is affecting many who belong to struggles around the world. When you come to listen to a program with a fixed mentality, you have a problem. I don't know what problem you have with Dokubo. You see, I've called most of the people that I talk to as my friends or my comrades. That is the word I've used here. I cannot come here and call somebody, maybe I don't even know the person physically, but I communicate with the person that, oh, is it Dokubo my enemy?
I think Mazi Pat is not responsible enough for you to allow doctor to respond to this question.
No, Mazi, listen. Mazi, it's very, very important that we clear issues. Listen, let me tell you, there is something that doctor, just hold on. For me, in this platform, we give Biafrans the opportunity to express themselves. And we give everyone.
I've not answered you yet.
Hold on. Don't be in a hurry. Doctor is going to answer. And where necessary, I will also add my voice because I have also used. Somebody can call me a friend. That doesn't mean we are friends. You can see somebody on the way and say, my friend, how are you? That doesn't mean. So the English word you need to understand from the point of view doctor is speaking from my friend. It shows you that he doesn't have an issue with us. But that doesn't mean that two of them eat on the same plate. But doctor, you still have the right to proceed with that response.
Yeah, let me make this clear. If you are involved in a struggle like this, and your job is to draw a line between red and black, just know that you don't belong to a struggle which has to do with life and death of people. I just turned 50. I've spent 35 years in this struggle. You go and ask my people, 35. Some people will say, what have you achieved for 35? I've achieved so much for these 35 years. That is why I can talk to you as my brothers and sisters. Some of you people have never seen you people before. When you called me for this program, what did I wrote to you? I say, how are you, my brother? That is how I wrote to you. I don't know you physically. I'm not even sure you might know me. I don't know what I've met with you. So I call people brothers. I call people friends. So I don't care whether you don't want Dokobo to be my friend or to eat with me. He's my friend. That is what I've said. I can even call him my brother. Brothers take arms against one another. True or false? Cain and Abel. Brothers can go to war, but it doesn't stop being my brother. You who is talking to me now, who've asked that question, which for me is a good question for you to ask. But it's a question of somebody who is intolerant. You don't tolerate any other person. You want only your own fixations. You're still my brother. So I need you to understand that you must give room to even the people who hate you. In my struggle, people insult me. They call me names. They say all types of things about me. When they pick their phone, they write to me. They say, I'm sorry. I say, no, forget about that. Let's talk. Tell me what you want me to do or you want to hear from me. That is the way I operate. You don't operate like that. You're not going anywhere. And many people like this, if you find yourself in struggle, you will be destroying the struggle. People will start saying, look at what these IPOB people are doing. Why is not the IPOB as an organization? It is individuals who are intolerant. You have to be tolerant. I don't know whether on Sunday you went to church, you read the Bible. What did the Bible say? Don't let your anger, don't let the sun settle on your anger. You can be angry, but you need to open up. And one other thing you should know, Biafra land is not only for the Igbo. Biafra land extends more than that. Those of you who know Biafra from 1967 and the rest, you know there are people who are Biafrans who are not Igbos. You know that. So you should open up to other people. Whether their perspective is not okay, fight for what you know is right.
Answering one question. Can I ask him another question? I did not ask him to.
Okay, go ahead and ask your second question. Go ahead.
Another thing is that if you listen to his word, he has been putting Biafrans down as if we do not know what we are doing, or his own is better than us. Is Ambazonia free now?
Thank you. You've asked me a very good question. That is a very, very good question. You see, the cost of freedom is not based on population. Ambazonia is not free. And that is why I say I expected a lot from my Biafran brothers and sisters. Ambazonia population-wise is very small. Financially, we don't have the cash you people have. Technologically, we do not have. Can I answer the question?
Caller, can you please allow him to respond to your question so that I will let you go? Because you've asked two of your questions, and I think we'll give other people opportunity.
If you don't want me to answer the question, you don't.
Doctor, go ahead. Go ahead, respond to that question.
So what
please.
I'm saying is that population-wise, we are smaller than the Biafrans. Even the IPOB, as you say, you have millions of people, which is true. Financially, we are not up to you people. Technologically, we are not up to you people. But for 4 years, what we have achieved, I expected that, because that is why I said this fight, because of the natural boundaries, is linked up together. I am just here to push you people to do more. So you don't come here and sit there and say, I said, I'm putting down the Biafran people. Who am I to put down the Biafran people? The Biafran people will put themselves down if they want to put themselves down, not me. Nothing anybody will say.
Absolutely,
down the Biafran
absolutely. Doctor, you're right. Can we? Doctor, you are right. Our freedom is in our hands and not in the hand of anybody. Mazi Solomon, do you have any contribution to the debate? I love it because every day we come here, people, oh, you are doing a great job. I don't want to hear people telling me every day I'm doing a great job. Let's argue, let's iron it out, let's debate, let's agree, let's disagree, let's fight. But at the end of the day, we'll be able to also come up with some sense of balance in what we are doing. Mazi Solomon, go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Mazi Pat, for giving me another opportunity. Doctor, I want to ask you a question here. In the last year, I think late last year, IPOB launched security outfit known as ESN. What is your comment and what is your take on that very launching of ESN? So what do you have to comment on that?
Well, if you are a liberation movement or you are fighting for liberation, you cannot have only a political or administrative wing. You must have a wing that has to do with issues of security or self-defense. That is the word we use. And until you have that fully implemented, then you are not complete. It doesn't mean that when you have it, you must put it in motion, but you must prepare ahead of time in whatever you do. So I commend the IPOB or any other organization that prepares for the rainy days. You can set up a security network, but you don't put them in motion. But if time comes and you need to do that, then you will do that without any fear or favor, without having the time to go back and prepare. So you must prepare far, far, far ahead of time. That is what is needed for people to do in a struggle like this. Because in struggles like this, my dear brothers, you should not even allow 5% of those who really want that freedom. Because that people who pretend that they want freedom, they don't want freedom. If 5% or even 2% of people who really want freedom stop agreeing, there's bound to be trouble. There's bound to be trouble. That is why I said there are people who don't want freedom, they might pretend. But for those who want freedom, if there are 5 of them, just 2 start acting in a way, you need to find a way to make sure that they stay within the fold so that you can move forward. Because the issues of freedom are very, very risky.
So, Doctor, are you telling us that the setup of the Eastern Security Network is in the right direction?
That is what I'm saying, that if IPOB is out to liberate us, one of the callers from the Netherlands said that they are fighting for external self-determination, they need total freedom. Then if you don't have a security network or what I call a self-defense group, you are incomplete, period. I will say it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Doctor, we have another caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Mazi Solomon, and Dr. the Ambazonian. I want to ask him a question. Please, Doctor, have you in any way, because from all indication I've been listening, you made mention of Ucheme for, when our leader was in the prison, you met him, invited them, they shrugged you off, and then that was 2016. And after our leader came out of prison, have you ever met our leader in person or through telephone, or have you ever reached out to meet him?
Thank you very much. Let me answer this question. This is a question I do not want to talk about. First, let me inform you that when they started Radio Biafra, I did not know him. He reached out to me. He heard about me. He reached out to me while I was still in London. Then, within a short while, he told me he was going to Nigeria. That was the Nigeria he went to, where he never came back, and he was picked up and locked up. But I was in communication with him. And let me put this very clear. What normally happens in situations like this, when he was locked up, there were those of us who were outside who were fighting for his release. When he came out, it was for him to reach out. Because he reached out to me, he got my number. We are brothers, we are friends. It was for him to reach out because we, in our own way, fought for his release. We came out with a lot of communiques and the rest. So when you ask whether I've met him, it's the same thing when you meet your leader, you ask your leader. He was communicating with me maybe before he even became your leader. At that time, he was running Radio Biafra before he came to Nigeria, and IPOB flourished and was all over the world. And we're doing the wonderful things that we're doing. So he has not reached out to me. I've not reached out to him because it is not for me to reach out to him. That is the way it works. I've been in his situation before.
Okay. I've heard what you said. From all indication, you have said it here on this platform that because you were expecting our leader to reach out to him, because he didn't reach out to him, then you did not reach out to him, that he is the one who's supposed to reach out to you. Well, I will tell you on this platform, when he came out of prison, a lot of things came up. Maybe all the events and whatever overshadowed him reaching out to you. Okay, let's bury that one. Going forward, my brother, you see, the IPOB of 2016, the UCHMF you are calling about, and again, you said answering the Kobo. You're free to have call anybody your friend or your enemy or whatever. Nobody, you're a man of your word. You've been fighting for the freedom of Ambazonians for the past 35 years, like you said. And about a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, like you said, you started picking up arms. Well, the point I want to drive across is that, number one, Asari Dokubo has never been a freedom fighter. That's number one. It's a fact. It's not me saying it. Number two, the UJMFO you are talking about today that shot you off 2016 is no more a member of IPOB. UJMFO, Asari Dokubo, whichever those people you are calling on this platform today, you know, they are, for us in IPOB, they are irrelevant. We are not going to, you know, they are coming up or declaring a de facto customary government or whatever. We are not interested in that area of whatever they are doing. Another thing I want to put across is our leader, Mazi, if he has not reached out to you, don't be angry that he didn't reach out to you. He's too busy, you know, pursuing the freedom of Biafra and the freedom of the entire, you know,
I think, in my opinion, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will definitely reach out to him. That he hasn't reached out to Doctor doesn't mean he's not going to reach out to him at some point. And I believe that haven't had that initial contact.
There is a kind of imbued anger in him that
No. Doctor is not angry. That is his nature. He's not angry. That is his nature.
Okay,
that is his nature. You need to,
because he cannot reach out our leader.
No. Try to understand.
Reach out to him.
Try to understand his it's important you understand the temperament of people before you judge them. It's very, very important you understand people's temperament before you judge them. He's not angry. He's not angry. Okay, yeah, he's not angry. He's not angry that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have not reached out to him. What he was trying to say is that, you know, considering the circumstances that led to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you know, contacting him the first time, went to Nigeria, had issue that he expected that when he comes back, that he would have still got in touch with him again. But it's not an issue. I don't think it's an issue for Doctor that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu hasn't contacted him. Doctor understand the commitment in the hand of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that the assignment he has continued to grow by the day, and it is difficult, you know, sometimes to actually get in touch with everybody at the same time. But I believe that when the time comes, our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will definitely get in touch with Dr. Akwanga, and they will be able to speak once again. Kola, do you have any other thing to say? Doctor, do you have something to say?
Yes, I wanted to make, let me clarify this before.
Okay, hold on. Doctor want to say something before you yes.
I just want to clarify this. First, if the caller did not bring up the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, I will not talk about it. So I am not requesting that Nnamdi Kanu calls me. I am saying that the way I communicated with him was the way two friends or two brothers can communicate before he went in. That is just what I was saying. So since I sat here, I never said I will not. I never said I'm angry that he came. He went to detention. They locked him up. He came out. He did not talk to me. No, the caller brought it up. So that is not even an issue. The other issue I want to say is that I only asked a question that the customary, de facto customary government, is it the one I heard that Dokubo Asari is there? I was not talking about Dokubo Asari. So when you people are listening to this program, please know that other people are listening to you. So don't do an insinuation which is wrong. I did not sit here to talk about Mr. Asari, whether he's a freedom fighter or what. No, that is not my business. I don't have issue of freedom fighting with him. I just asked the question that is what I heard, that there is a de facto government. Is it the one he's heading? So that I can respond to it. And I was not responding about him. I was responding about the de facto government.
The structure itself.
For Ucheme, I only responded to it because it was also brought up. That was one of the reasons I was brought here. I was not coming here to talk about anybody. I was brought here to come and explain that. Is it true that when he was at IPOB, He has been your leader, even if he's no longer there. When he was there, one of your leaders, did I send an invitation to IPOB or they were not invited? That is how his
Exactly.
name came up.
Exactly. And that is the motive, that is the reason, the ultimate reason you're here. And we have to take that into cognizance. Hello, caller, make your last this thing so that other people can call in. We have thousands of calls coming in. We have to attend to almost all of them. Please round it up.
Yeah, if they let me round up because it seems the doctor he hasn't contacted our leaders since he came out of the detention or whatever, and then the issue of Uchemefo, like I put it to him, Uchemefo is no more member of IPOB, neither Asari Dokubo, a freedom fighter. I will repeat it again, and that is the truth. So if going forward, for now, I think we have a leader. We don't need anybody advising us on how to fight freedom, because freedom fighting, there is no formula in fighting freedom. The same way you fought your freedom about the Ambazonia, you don't expect us, Biafrans or IPOB, to fight our freedom in that way. There is no formula in freedom fighting. This is not democratic.
Caller, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for that contribution. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate the time you spent with us. We have other callers coming in. Doctor, please be patient. We have a caller from Germany. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. Hello, caller. Can you hear me? Caller from Germany, can you hear me? Caller from Germany, can you hear me? Yeah, the caller is not responding. Let's see if we can take another caller from the UK. He has been trying to reach us for a long time. Hello, caller from the UK. Welcome to the program. Yes, welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning here, Patrick.
Yes, welcome to the program.
Dr. Akwanga. Good morning, Solomon. My whole vision here is that 1967, they went for Aburi. Aburi is restructuring. And they did because of this restructuring and killed almost 9 million Biafrans. So what we are asking is outright freedom. To have anything with them because they have killed us. They have put us in perpetual poverty. They have done a lot to us. They say we will not have our destiny in our hands. As you understand, that was what Tupac said to BIG, that bring the dance of Tupac. So we don't have anything to do. Outright freedom. That is what we are looking for, and that is what we will get. In the other side again, which you have touched, in any freedom, they have ups and downs. And they have what they call leprosy. And leprosy is a communicable disease. And when you find any leprosy in any organ or in any part of the body, the best thing is to take away that sign of that leprosy. If you left that leprosy, you will affect other body. So that is what IPOB are doing. IPOB are taking the leprosy out. When we take the leprosy out, the body will be free. That is what we are doing. And I thank you for saying that we have never done.
I think he's gone. Okay.
We are still moving. We are still moving to do war. The day we will raise our flag is that day we know that we have to what? Achieve all our aim. So we are coming. I like your encouragement. Go ahead.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, people.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Doctor, you know, sometimes you have to be patient with our people. Our people are very difficult. They can ask difficult questions. They can also make difficult contributions. But we are here to entertain. We are here to listen. We are here to share ideas. We are also here to take your contribution. We have another caller from Germany. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, Mazi, good morning from here. Good morning, Dr. Akwanga. Please, my question is very brief. Dr. Akwanga, please, have you seen or had any country that gotten her independence without fight the war, or through referendum only, or with war? Have you seen any country recently gotten her freedom without fighting a war?
Thank you very much. Doctor, can you respond to that question?
Yeah, thank you very much. The answer is simply no. As long as you do not carry up arms, nobody is going to listen to you. Unfortunately, it is not what people want. It is what people are compelled to do. The reason is that no central government is going to let you have a walk in the park because they think you'll be disintegrating the system. So until they are forced by one way or the other, and the only way people normally force them is to seize a piece of land, hold that piece of land, and there's trouble in the country, it's going to lead to the death of innocent people. Unfortunately, that is not what is needed. But I can assure you of one thing. Anywhere that you don't carry up arms, even in the situation of Kosovo, where President Clinton intervened at the end of the day, people died. So anyone who is saying that you are just going to have a walk in the park and the cause for freedom, as one of the speakers told me that freedom is not whether a formula. People have different ways of fighting for freedom. Well, it depends on what freedom you are looking for, and he is right. If you are looking for individual freedom, there is a way to fight for it. If you are looking for collective freedom, which deals with a nation, a people, there is a way to fight for it. If you are looking for internal self-determination, there is a way to fight for it. But the only way you can have external self-determination, the only way, no matter every other thing added to it, is that you are bound to have an armed struggle. Unfortunately, you cannot break yourself away in any format without fighting. If you are not ready to do that, just forget about it. You can march, you can do everything. No country in this world, even if they like what you are doing, will take their risk to come and stand by you. You need to prove yourself on the ground. Nobody is going to tell you go and carry arms, but the way they'll be treating you when you are talking to them and the rest, they're merely telling you that you need to do more to free yourself. And that more means, unfortunately, you need to arm yourself and carry arms. So,
Doctor, we are coming. No, we are coming. I intended that this program will last for like an hour, 30 minutes, or 2 hours. But we have to extend it. I was
struggling to respond to his. He asked me a direct
question. Doctor, you are on the right track. You are on the right track.
I wanted him to know that.
Absolutely. You know why I said we are coming? You know why I said we are coming? It is because this answer you are giving now will lead us somewhere. The answer you're giving is going to lead us somewhere. But before we go there, let's take this caller. Hello, caller from the US. Welcome to the program.
Hello, Mr. Mazi Patrick, and Mazi Solomon, and our speaker, Dr. Akwanga. Dr. Akwanga, I greet you, I welcome you. Your name even sounds like an Igbo name, but all the same, Doctor, I agree with you in many things you said, and the first one I will pick up is where you said you expect we have not done anything. I agree with you on that, and when you clarified on it, because you said you expect us to do more, which is very, very okay. Yeah, we're supposed to have done more, or we are doing more. At the same time, you know, the issue.
Doctor, can you hear me? It seems like
it's not issue that can be sorted out in one day. It's something that we have been able to go on the ground and get, and our leader has tried a lot. And today, the way the war happened in 1967 to 1970 is not going to be the same today, because today we have some parts, a good amount of people from Edo State, which is the Midwest, will still have structure from the west, from the southwest. So if anything comes up today, the kind of the weight they had then, they're not going to have it any longer. That's one of the achievements that our leader has done. Our leader has been able to make other people from the riverine areas to now believe that they are Biafrans and they are going to fight alongside with us. These are another achievement. So we have a very big structure. But where I don't get it right again in the side, not you, is on the side of there was something Mr. Patrick was trying to say, he wanted to answer you a question, but he didn't answer you the proper way. What 95% of Biafrans are looking for is outright freedom. They want to see one day in their dream, even in life, they see independence of Biafra. I'm telling you, a lot of people can die. A lot of people can say they have fulfilled all their dreams. They can decide to die and let their people bury them for the fact that Biafra has come. And then when you listen to a lot of people calling in, you will still find out a lot of emotions showing that most of people listening on this program, only what they want to hear is solution. What can we do more? What can we do to carry on to see the life, to see the existence, to see this independence? This is what our people want to hear. Now, I always believe.
Caller, you have just 30 seconds to round it up so that we can take other calls.
So I still believe individually that there is no way we can have our Biafra without engaging in another civil war. So what I am telling our brothers and sisters listening on this program, or that will listen later, is that we need to prepare ourselves, because we must engage. We are not engaged in another civil war.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I am in the US today as an expert. I'm doing that because I know what we're gonna come. So by the grace of God, I think we're going to arrive.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for that Thank you for that contribution. Thank you very much. Yes, Doctor, there is something that I said. People are beginning to say I didn't respond very well. That I didn't respond when you asked what exactly do we want, and I said our outright request is a referendum to determine whether we want to remain in Nigeria or we want to opt out of Nigeria. And that is it is very clear. So I have responded to that question, and that is the ideology of IPOB from the beginning. We need a referendum to determine whether we want to remain in Nigeria or not. So it is not left for you or your own personal opinion to say, we want or I don't want to. Just like people. So I think I've responded to that question. The option for referendum is a peaceful option, and we hope that the Nigerian government assent to that demand and give us referendum to decide whether we want to. You cannot say you want to leave Nigeria until referendum is given. At that point, you cannot determine who want to stay and who want to leave. I think we have another caller from the USA. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Mazi.
Please check your phone. Check your phone. I've sent you a message. Check your
phone. Okay,
phone.
definitely. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. From here, Mazi. Good evening, Mazi Solomon, and good evening, Dr. Akwanga. My name is Joe Kafo. I'm calling from US, United States of America. My question to Doctor is, what Doctor has said that for you to achieve freedom, you have to fight your way through. Our leader, Mazi Kanu, has been telling us that not until, if two people are fighting, somebody must come and ask what is the problem. From there, settlement will come in. Without war or without fight, there cannot be freedom. Even our director even said it last time that the kingdom of God suffered violence. God took his kingdom by force when Satan try to overthrow God in heaven. We that read Bible that say we are Christian. God have to fight with his nation and drop away Satan. So therefore, freedom is not given, it's taken. Doctor, you see Mazi that you talk about. I can remember when I was in prison. There was one time you organized all the freedom fighters to come to visit in Ghana. But this time Mazi is the one that said IPOB cannot go when other one came. Because it's a saboteur. And as I'm from Niger Delta, where Asari came from. Asari is a criminal. He's not a freedom fighter. If Asari, whenever he want to get money from the government, he will come and talk about Biafra. When he get money, he will say, I'm not Biafra, I'm Niger Delta. So Asari is not a good fighter. I'm happy that you made it clear to the world that everybody is your brother, you don't have enemy. But on the other hand, whatever government de facto, Biafra government de facto, is not part of freedom. You cannot form a government when you don't have security. You cannot form a government when there's no option to secure whatever you are fighting for. So they don't know what they are doing. IPOB has made me a man from Niger Delta today to talk about Biafra. IPOB, Mazi has sanitized Biafras around the world. Today, Biafra is being heard. Even in heaven, they are hearing about Biafra. And the IPOB have a way of doing things. Today, IPOB has set up a security movement called Eastern Security Network. That is what we don't have before. That is why you see whenever we come out to protest, they kill us. But today, they are the one running now. The soldiers and the police, they are the one running. They cannot kill us anymore. Doctor, don't worry. We will get there. I understand what you are trying to say or let Biafrans know. We Biafrans, we the students of Radio Biafra, we understand you. We will get there and you'll be proud of IPOB and Mazi and Kano. We are getting there. Doctor, well, we know what you are talking about. We will get there and we will invite you again to this same program.
Beautiful. And that is exactly what I wanted to say, that because of the time constraint, we might be bringing Doctor back to this program. Thank you, caller, for thank you for the because of the time constraint, Doctor, you have to come back to this program. We'll have to reschedule for some other time. Just like you send me a message that you have other issues to, I will let Doctor go.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Doctor, hold on for a while. Let's see if Mazi Solomon can. Yes. Is Mazi Solomon? Are you freezing? Are you there?
Oh, thank you so much, Mazi.
Are you there?
For, finding it good to bring me in at this point in time. So thank you so much. I think Mazi, I am here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Doctor, do you have yes? Do you want to say something?
Yes, Solomon was talking. He's asking whether you can hear him. I was hearing.
Yeah, of course I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So what I'm okay, thank you. So what I'm actually saying here is that we must say big thanks to Doctor. He has tried, he has honored our invitations, and we don't need to keep him here more than the required time. So we have to let him go. And again, before the doctor left, I must say that armed struggle is still on a discussion. IPOB are not into armed struggle at this very moment. It's still a subject for discussion on their table. So there was no specific decisions as to regard to armed struggle at this very moment.
What IPOB have is a security network that defends our people. Go ahead.
I think
okay,
you
go ahead.
to allow me to land here so that I can be able to make myself very clear. So
okay,
what we are looking at now is for Nigerian to give to give us referendum. So the issue of armed struggle is still a subject for discourse. So we have not gone to that. And Mazi has always said that if that is the only options that we are left to, then we will have nothing than to engage into it. But before then, Doctor, thank you so much. And I wish to meet you again in this very platform to continue our discussion. You must know that we must not agree in one day. We must keep on engaging. And that is what we are lacking all this while. We are failing to engage with people who will just talk once and we quit. But we beg you, anytime we call you here, please come. Every contributions count for us, and every knowledge is very useful, and the wisdom also can be abstracted from anywhere. So please, any other time we call you, you should try to answer our call, so we'll keep on engaging, discussing in this matter. So since you have something to do, we just have to let you go. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation. My name is Solomon Peter.
Thank you very much. Actually, we had agreed. We thought we'll have just about an hour, 30 minutes. We are already 2 hours, 22 minutes. So we are far into it. If I come in and I know it's going to take longer, I will prepare for that. I had a meeting for 2 hours before this one. So I've spent the whole day on meetings. But to conclude, rest assured that I am fine. I welcome any question. There is no question that will give me a problem. As long as the person who is asking the question will allow me to respond to it. That is the way it goes. I teach, so I understand there are times some questions are they sound a little bit crazy. But there is one thing I want you people to know before I leave. I am not going to sit here and prescribe how the Biafrans or IPOB, what method they want to use to feed themselves. I will respond to every question. If you ask me a question, that this method that we are using like this, is it okay or not? Based on my my understanding and the way I see things, if it's not okay, I'm going to say it's not okay. I will not sit here and try to cajole you people that it is okay. If it is okay, I will say, yes, it is okay. It is a method that is being used. So I'm not prescribing any method for IPOB here. No, that's not my job. I'm just sitting here as an expert and I'm asked questions. I have to respond to them. If somebody asks me a question that, can people have freedom without especially independence, or have a homeland of their own without fighting, I have to be as upfront as possible, because there is no single country in the world that has achieved that without bloodshed. And that is not what anybody wants. Unfortunately, that is how international politics work, that they want people to share innocent blood before people start reacting and doing something. So I'm just responding to it. One last thing. War is an act of diplomacy. Take note of this. War is an act of diplomacy. It is nothing, it doesn't stand on its own. It is an act of diplomacy. But you must prepare yourself before you jump into something of that nature, because it is almost a no turning back situation when you get into it. So you must use every other avenues, explore every other avenues until it becomes the last resort, because it is going to be self-defense. That is how you do it. You are not going to be attacking people. You are defending yourself. So it becomes the last resort. So every instrument within you people's hands, you have to make sure you use them. Only go to war when you think all other options have been exhausted. Therefore, there you will have international support. People will know. You can prove to people that I did this, I tried this, I reached out to these people, they did not hear. I came for this, they did not. I did everything that is possible. I realized that the only way for me to defend myself, that my people are not killed, is to carry up arms. You don't just get up and carry arms because you are fighting. So, because you must always be able to defend yourself in the international arena when it comes to that. So I thank everybody who has asked a question, and I think that I look forward we'll be able to have another time to discuss. But
Definitely, doctor, you'll be coming back, because we've not had enough time to ask. We've not even.
yes, but
what we've discussed is just the preamble. So we'll be bringing you back.
Use your platform. Use your platform, all of you, even those who come up to speak. Use your platform to be embracing as much as possible. If somebody is not part of IPOB, but stands for the same goal, I repeat, the same goal, because there are people who don't stand for the same goal. They might pretend. You have to find a way to bring them into the house. They might not want to be IPOB people, but they are part and parcel of Biafra. It's like you deliver a child, you have the good one, you have the bad one. You are not going to throw any of them, because the same blood is in their vein, no matter how they act. So That is my own advice. You must find a way to get everybody. It might not be one last something, because the logic with liberation struggle or struggle of this nature is that at times, if all of you enter into this bundle like this, everybody is in here. Like I take this, my eyeglass, I have one here, I put this other one here. If it gets missing, that is all. I need to go and buy a new one. But if I have this one put in a different case, I have this one here, this one gets missing, I can go get the other case and use this. This is just like a proverb I'm giving to you people. So you understand that if everybody gets into the same bundle and something happens, you might not be able to easily recover. Yeah, it might take a very long time. You might recover, but it might take a very long time. So that is another advantage of having other little entities that have the same idea of achieving the same goal you people want to achieve. So it's always good to open up. But
thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. We hope to see you again. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Mazi Solomon, I think we have to take some calls more and respond as we let Doctor go. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello. Good morning, good evening to you all over there.
You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Uchenna Ojimadu, and I'm calling from Germany.
Go ahead, Uchenna.
Yes, last 2 or 3 months I called, and not that I called, I texted, and then we had little comments, and then I was the person answering. Okay.
Go ahead.
See, my contribution is I'm not having the method which Mazi is using is okay. He has done a lot for the Biafrans, and he has done a lot for Africans all over the world. The problem I'm having is, I think it's high time he comes out straight and yes, he has done a lot and he has opened the eyes of many Africans. But the way the followers, the IPOB, most of the members, is just the mentality which the mentality which they are taking to follow this struggle is really, really. I think let's say we have 100 million followers. If the way they approach these other people who has other opinions which is outside IPOB, and welcome them and listen to them, I think we have many, many followers more than the one we have now. So the problem I'm having is the way we attack people. You just have this clouded mentality. You don't want to listen to others. You don't want to hear what they have to say. Whatever they have to say is all rubbish. What Mazi is human like us. He's not perfect. Okay, sometimes nobody can say whatever he says is correct. And not everything is really right. So the way we treat the whole thing that he's a perfect person, fine, he is good, he is leading us in that good direction. But the way we don't allow other people to contribute and make their own opinions and let them say what they want. We can't learn like this. And the more we think we are progressing, but the more people are coming in, the more people are leaving. And that's not the way the struggle should go. We have to take more people. But the way these people, they just attack. They don't listen to people. I was going through the comments of this. I was going through the comments when this the guest was saying. They don't listen. The only attacking man is stupid, he's this, he doesn't know what he's saying, get him out of it. Okay, how do you expect people to learn when you don't even listen to him? And so this is the
Thank you.
Mazi Patrick.
Thank you for your contribution. Yes.
Listen to them. You don't just attack. That's not the way it works. How do I say this? You tend to push people away instead of bringing people in.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Most of the comments I make most times is the way we approach others. Okay, you don't expect me. I'm not Mazi, but I'm not IPOB member. But I follow every of his I follow every program that he comes on. But the fact is, if I'm not IPOB member, that doesn't mean I'm not a lover of Biafra struggle. So this one should understand that I must not be IPOB member for me to love Biafra, for me to love Igbo man, for me to love my brothers.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for that contribution. Mazi Solomon, do you have any answer to this contributor. Mazi, there is this noise that is on your background.
Actually, such a
It
person
comes from your phone.
Mazi,
Yeah.
just
Yes.
reduce your volume. The noise is coming
Okay.
from your end. It's not from my end. Just reduce your volume and everything will be calm.
Okay,
The
go
volume
ahead.
of the device in which you are speaking, because yes.
He's
So
still, there
regarding
is still
what
noise there, but go
the
ahead,
person is
Mazi
concerned,
Solomon.
we must know that people must bring out their concern. So the person who called is actually saying his concern as to regard to the message of the way the indigenous the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, delivers his message. So he has problem with that. Okay. So and I want to explain it to him that
Mazi, that is not
the
what he's saying.
mechanism.
That is not what he's saying. Listen, he's saying that, you know, he's not talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He's talking about the followers, the reaction of the people, the way people react. He's not talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not perfect. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself, I've said it many times. We all know he's not perfect. But what he's saying is that, you know, the attitude of the followers, comment, and the way they attack people, and they don't, you know, listen to contrary view and things like that. That is what he's complaining about.
So Mazi Pat, like what you are saying, yeah, if you have given me opportunity to land, then you would have gotten my point straight away.
Okay, go ahead, Mazi Solomon.
So yes, what I am saying is that the body of the message of the the leader of indigenous people of Biafra, or the followers, you must know we have explained this in time without number in this very platform. The fact remains that there is no revolution that is beautiful. There is no beautiful revolution anywhere. And what is just important in our struggle is your genuity, your genuine involvement in the struggle. That is what is most important. That somebody who is talking gently, who has no time to insult anybody, but that individual is not genuine in his involvement, is still as a useless formula to us. Then somebody who actually doesn't know how, the only way he knows how to communicate is to insult people, that is that person's limitation. He's not the mouthpiece of IPOB. The fact remains that if you have to get involved in agitation, check your dictionary. Agitation is emotional outburst. Emotional outburst in a stage where you cannot handle it anymore. Then you do it your own way. Nobody has control in the way people respond, on the way people process information. Nobody has control. As long as these agitations involve a mass movement, you can never have control in the way people talk. So actually what you do is that if you see people who are saying things that you cannot accommodate or things, you better just behave matured and walk away. You don't mingle yourself or force yourself in between the people who you are not enjoying their possible ways of conveying their own message. That is just what, because nobody has such control in how people process information, or how people talk, or how people know best to communicate. Do you understand? Except we have to build a larger institution where we have to put everybody in a school and start training everybody at the same time for them to have the same frequency of reasoning and assessing information, which is not going to be, is going to be a waste of resources to us. So what is important here is that the person that is everybody here, we keep learning and we keep improving. So you might not get it 100% at a time. But if, as we continue holding this very program, as we continue calling people out, correcting things, there is even somebody in this platform who took correction for today, who actually advanced today. So it's not going to happen at once. And you know it because all of us were not born the same day. And the level of information we have is not the same. Everybody is not equal. So
and the way
it must
people
not stop.
and the way
This
people
is a
process
situation that involves mass movement.
yes,
You
and the
don't
way
have
people
control on how
process
people
information,
process
Maz, is very
information.
important as well. We have a caller, Mazi Solomon. Hold on. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good day here. I want on my own. What I want to say is that Lion, freedom fighting is not night party. Freedom fighter is not a ceremony. It's not birthday party. Freedom fighter is not bed of roses. It's not go come and talk. For anybody that are advising us, somebody that don't have secondary school start is ruling Nigeria. A dead man is ruling Nigeria, and all of them that are wise, they have never stand up one day and advice they are giving to us. They say they are wise, but a dead man are ruling all of them. They say they are wise. Fuel is 215 naira or how much? They say they are wise. We are regulating everywhere. 20-something churches. Nobody from the eastern Nigeria. We are a wounded lion. What we are doing is freedom fighting. We are not here to do big boy or big girl. You have certificate and your certificate is rusted, and you are coming precious. When they are killing our people, do you know how many of my people they kill? And you think that you come here and advise us? And you say you are not alive. Take your advice and go and give it to your family. Or you take that is what we want to talk. Let us stop that rubbish advice they are giving. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution.
You see it.
You see
it, Mazi Pat. You see it. It depends on how individual processed information. We are like this. Our body is a component of chemical reaction. The way the chemical
this caller have been trying to get through for a very long time. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program.
Yes. Good evening, Mazi, Solomon, Peter. Good evening, Patty Kim. My name is Noaflo, and I am calling from the United States of America. It's unfortunate that our doctor is gone for the evening. I have a few comments for him. But I'll just share them here just to see, what people think about them. I agree that more can be done in this struggle. There's always more that you can do. There's always more ways that you can grow and improve. I disagree that nothing has been accomplished. We don't announce everything that we do. It's not smart to announce every single thing that we do. The zoo is always looking for a way to enter what we're doing. They're always looking for a way in. So we're not going to announce everything. There are many things that are going on behind the scenes that we won't talk about publicly. But then the other thought that I had is that Dr. Akwanga asked what we want, and what we want is complete freedom. We want complete freedom. We don't want internal freedom within Nigeria. We want complete freedom. Complete. If he is confused, what may be confusing him is that some of our leaders are puppets, and very soon we will address that also. Again, the last comment that I have is that they call Ambazonians Biafrans because Ambazonians actually are Biafrans as well. But in our culture, in our spirit of live and let live, everyone is free to do their own. Ambazonia is their traditional name, and that's who they are. So they're doing their own, and we support them in what they do, and we hope that one day Biafra can be alongside Ambazonia as well as Oduduwa and all the other emerging states.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that contribution. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Mazi, let me see if I can put there is a caller I'm trying to reach. Very important that reach this caller. Mazi Judo Kafo is calling back. Let me see if I can reach this caller very fast.
Okay,
Let's
Mazi,
see. Just hold on, Mazi Solomon. I think we have a caller. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Mazi, good morning. Welcome to Biafra Television.
Good morning, I want to make a contribution towards the topic you people are discussing.
Go ahead, Mazi. Go ahead.
Okay. Biafra's, my name is Michael Iwanya, the former national coordinator, indigenous people of Biafra in Italy. I still remain till tomorrow the candidate, the obedient servant of Mazi Namdekam, no other person. Just like what our brother Solomon said, freedom fighting is not a child play. Like just the last caller said, it's not a child play. You know, Dr. Ebeneazer Akwanga, you are the person that was with you. He said, I made a comment, he said, they sold out in what they said that is Biafra today. This is a person that we have agitated with him in Rome. Several times we have police are killing us, army are killing us, people are abusing us. But in his presentation of addressing Biafra, he said what they call as Biafra today. To me, as a freedom fighter, and he is also a freedom fighter, he is supposed not to use that statement as they call Biafra today. When somebody address an issue wrongly, listen. Because when somebody, an African person is, whenever he want to bring you down, he will not even come to you and advise you. He will come in public and criticize you or say something that will attract your enemy to hold ground and bring you down. And that is an African man for you. So, the member of IPOB attacking people, that is, we are not mad. We are attacking people who don't want us to have freedom. We are attacking people who are enemy of progress. For almost 60 years of existence of Nigeria, all of us are here in abroad, scattered everywhere. Our mothers are dying without medicine. Women are dying in labor when they go to deliver. Our boys are out without job. Do people think that we are happy? We are not happy. We are not happy. So when we are aggressive to people, they should understand that we are not happy. We are not mad. So you cannot beat a child and tell the child not to cry. I think I will advise you people to move up or move ahead with your program. For almost 8 years, people are calling us miscreants. Even very unfortunate now that the idiot UTM4, who was the chief of miscreants, is now calling us miscreants, which means our miscreants and people calling us miscreants is a good thing to us. Hence, the repentant miscreants now are calling the genuine one miscreants. So you people should move on and leave all these people that are saying IPOB is this, IPOB is that. They don't mean well to us. Focus on your tail. The good work you people, you and Solomon is doing. Forget all these people that are trying to distract you people for what you are doing.
Yeah, Mazi, thank you very much. Mazi, can you hold on, please? You know, sometimes, are you there, Mazi? Are you there? Yes. Sometimes when you listen to people, and when people say certain things, their intention might be different, or the way they wanted to say it might be different, or the way you understand them might be different. I don't think Dr. Akwanga intentionally want to run us down by saying the place you call Biafra today, because he was describing where he sought asylum, you know, and he said he spent a very long time in Aba, the place you call Biafra today. So I don't think he's trying to like ridicule or try to run us down. But in any case, there are beautiful things he has also said about us. He has also endorsed the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that you cannot get your freedom in Nigeria without putting up a fight. And these are the points we want to take home. For those who say, oh, we don't want to be part of the IPOB that is fighting, we want to go a peaceful agitation. You understand what I'm saying? You know, so we have to take the relevant points and drop the ones that are not relevant to us. There is also an advice I would like to give our people. When you meet people, especially in analytical programs like this, try to open up your heart. No matter how, whether you like them or you don't like them, open up your heart, because there is always something you can learn, and there is also something you can give. Mazi, thank you very much. You were my former national coordinator. Yes. Go ahead.
But look at one thing. I'm not, you know, Ebeneazer Akwanga. He has suffered into this struggle very, very well. And I admire him, I respect him. But if somebody wants to address us at this particular time, let that person address us as Biafrans. Not as you call it, or not to say they call. We are Biafrans. We are no longer Nigeria, whether they like it or not. Even if at all, they are still calling us Nigeria.
Hello, are you there? I think he's gone. Mazi Solomon. I think he's having a network issues. So Mazi Solomon.
Thank you so much, Mazi Pat, for getting me in at this very moment. We must not mix the reason why this very program was organized this very morning. So we must keep focused, okay? And keeping focus is that, one, the reason why we search for the Dr. Akwanga is because we want some clarifications in what happened in the past. And then also, he has used that opportunities to hold his own opinion. Sometimes you can equally allow people to say the way they feel about you. So it's not a crime. It's not a crime, but this is their mindset. Even if they say it in the internet or they say it outside the internet, but this is just the view they have about you. So the thing is that for you now to judge your conscience, because to everybody, even I used to tell everybody that if nobody is checkmating the activities of IPOB, they can equally grow wing. Do you understand? So that is why we have to be our brother's keeper. So when you see anything that is helpful to you, any advice that is helpful to you, or to advance your cause for the struggle, or even motivate your personal individual involvement in the struggle, you can just take it. So it doesn't really mean that.
Hello,
That person.
Mazi, one thing our people must learn to understand is that don't expect praises all the time. Even when people criticize you, even when people say bad things against you, sometimes you just have to evaluate their opinion, and maybe there is something you can learn from that. That is why I have issues most of the time. People who understand my position most of the time understand and they appreciate it. For those who don't understand it, I'm sorry, because I reason differently. I give even my enemy. We've told you that this platform is open for everybody, even our enemies. You can come here and talk to us. We reason with you. We reason with people who don't even disagree. You want to talk down on us? Come here and talk down on us, and we deal with it. We have a caller. We have a caller on the phone. Hello, Mazi. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Mazi. Do you know why IPOB or people in IPOB are the way they are? Because IPOB and Biafrans, they have endured enough. They have suffered enough. They were killed and they are still killing them today. How do you expect those people to address or attack people that they are not seeing what they are seeing? Because first of all, hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
We're
Yes,
listening.
first of all, there's a call that I called and it was said that the IPOB is attacking people. That same caller said that he listened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but it's not an IPOB member. He's a Biafra. That is fake, my brother. You are not a Biafra, because if you are a Biafra, you will join IPOB. How about you join IPOB and tell member say stop insulting people? Why are you people insulting people? These people are suffering. Freedom fighter is not a joke. Do you know how many IPOB members have died in this struggle? Do you know how many? So how do you think they will not attack people who are against their own idea? Let me tell you, all those other freedom fighters, Mr. Akwanga is not in Biafra. You don't know what is going on. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, is open to all other Biafran agitators. But the problem is, we have said all the other groups, they are not like IPOB now. How can you work with somebody who will sell you? That is why you see IPOB, they remain on their own.
Yeah, caller, listen. Caller, can you listen? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, caller?
I'm listening to you.
Yeah, there is something our people need to understand. Somebody have the right to give you advice in the best way he feels is good for you. It is left for you to determine or decide if the advice is good for you. It is left for you to take the one that is good and drop the one that you feel is not convenient. And I believe that a time will come when IPOB might definitely bring in some sincere people to join IPOB who are in other groups, or definitely work with other groups who are fighting for Biafra. But at this point in time, we just have to remain focused, because there is time for everything. So Dr. Akwanga might be advising us to join her with other freedom fighters. But the question is it the right time for us to do that? These are the debates we should be engaging. These are the debates we should be engaging in.
Mazi Pat, you are even talking about a right time. Is it necessary? We should also look at it. Is it necessary?
It's not. How about other groups join IPOB? How about other groups join IPOB? Because they are not sincere.
Listen, Mazi, this is the reason I will be bringing Dr. Akwanga back to this program, because we still have a lot of questions to ask him as regard to this point. In the freedom fighting, he said that without armed struggle is difficult, and you have people who do not believe in armed struggle. Now, how do we reconcile with the people who do not believe in armed struggle and work together with them? You see, these are the reason why I want to bring Dr. Akwanga in this program. Some people might not like it, some other people might like it, but I think we still have a lot of discussion to hold with him. And I want to say, yes.
Let me just say 1 minute. Let me just chip in about what you just said about armed struggle. I was listening to Uche Mefo. Do you know that Uche Mefo said that it's not in support of armed struggle? Uche Mefo said it that anything about armed struggle will not support. Is that the people that are fighting for freedom? Why can't Uche Mefo ask his president, as Sani Tokubo is his president, is the secretary of advertisement now? How did he get the money he used to build house? He used to build house and school in Cotonou. Is it not through armed struggle? He was fighting for Niger Delta struggle. Is it not the money that he was fighting with arms that the Nigerian government gave him money? Then he went to Cotonou to declare himself as the citizen of Cotonou and build a house and school over there. If Asali Tokubo did not carry gun to fight for amnesty, to fight against the Nigerian government, and later he got paid and he took the money to go and nationalize Cotonou and use it in Cotonou, will you check before call Asali Tokubo is president today of the facto government? So is that the kind of mentality of people that you want to put yourself together to get Biafra? Mr. Akwanga should understand why IPOB and Biafras around the world are against when he said that we have to put room to bring in people. Because the people, we have not seen any group that we trust. Like me, Judo Kafo, I don't trust any other group. Any other group is fake. They will betray you. You want to trust? Is it also Wazirike that you want to trust? Is it Asari Tokubo you want to trust? Is it Maswa? Which group you want to trust? Okay, the only person I've never seen that come out openly, which man who is a Maswa leader. I've never seen that man start Mazi and the Kano, but I've never studied about that guy to know what's going on. But any other group, my brother, I would never advise IPOB to go close to them, or else I sorry for IPOB if they ever, because there's no group to be trusted in that Biafra land.
Caller.
As soon as government approach them, they will say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your contribution. Wonderful contribution. Mazi Solomon, I think that IPOB have a roadmap. They know the direction. They know where they are going. And people can always make their input. People can always make their contribution. People can always give their advice. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it is not the decision of me or you to decide the direction of IPOB we should go. What we do here is to listen to other divergent views, listen to also Biafran's opinions, and I will also be putting up what is it called? I'll be putting up a poll for Biafrans to decide if they want Dr. Akwanga to return back on this program or not. I'll be giving them the opportunity to vote. If they want him back, and if the majority carries the vote, then we'll bring him back. But if the majority say no, that they don't want to see him back again in this program, then we don't have to do that. Mazi Solomon, go ahead as we round it up.
Okay, thank you so much, Mazi Pat. Yeah, I think today we tend to discuss a subject, the subject as de facto customary government as a subject, and customary international law as a subject, and we also tend to discuss forceful agitation as a subject. But I think I have raised all these questions, and the doctor has, in his own way, has dealt with most of them. And then we are coming down to forceful agitation, in which IPOB has been involved all this while. And people has to understand the strategy of IPOB. But meanwhile, I just want in a few minutes, maybe you give me like 3 minutes, I round up because we have taken a long time in this very program. Now, when you come to the subject as a de facto customary government, it is also an instrument to for self-determination, but the idea or the methodology here is maybe getting people who have a constitutional representative capacity to declare de facto government for us if they are genuine. But as is the politics of Nigeria stand today, we know that they have narrowed opportunity. They have made the opportunity to be very narrow. So anybody that scaled through is not ready to turn back. So what do you have to tell somebody who's scared through to the opportunity of becoming a representative in Nigeria, seeing and embezzling money, seeing money that he can embezzle, and they seeing the corruptions that is on a high rate in Nigeria? How do you expect such person to turn down such opportunity? People want to enrich themselves. So therefore, we cannot make any headway in looking for people in representative capacity to declare a customary government for us as to seek for international recognition. International recognition, you cannot get it. So which way can we get such people involved? Is by creating creating a pressure that can compel them into coming back to work for their people. And how will pressure be able to compel them to work for their people is this: if Abuja, the center where they are going to collect the money they are embezzling, if we can be able to stop the functioning and keep Nigeria at a standstill, then these people will not see Abuja where they will go and collect money. Then the problem will come back home. And when the problem come back home, then they will come to work with their people. They will come to speak for their people, because the place where they are going, who make corruption available for them, it is the center that make corruption available for them. And that is why the focus of the struggle and the forceful agitation of IPOB has remained against the center. Because once you kept the center at standstill, those corrupt politicians who run there and they begin to get the money that they are embezzling and all that will be compelled to come home and listen to their people. And in so doing, they can be able to work for our interests at that very point, because they will have nothing again to gain by running to Abuja. So they are back to run home. They will be forced to run home. And that is the agitation of Biafran. That is the agitation of Biafran under the leadership of Mazi and the Kanu. And we are not ready to quit, because these are the things that has worked for everybody. Every one of us, every achievement that we can say we have made in this very struggle depends on the forceful agitations that Mazi and Kanu has created. That is actually the first time the issue of Biafra is going on a headline. Everybody is talking about the issue of Biafra. It is by the reason of how forceful we have been in our agitation. So they have no option than to discuss us. So if we put more effort in that very aspect, the world will discuss us. Definitely. The world stage, they are going to discuss Biafra. That is the thing that we want. Then the people who declare de facto customary government, eventually the idea is for them to, under that umbrella, organize people and sponsor people into political offices, in which they are going to have a representative who can be able to work with de facto government that can get attention of international community. But how possible is that? Seeing the circumstances and the situation in Nigeria, which we are surrendered, corruption is on the highest esteem, and the betrayal as the result of individuals' interest is in the highest extreme.
Mazi Solomon, there is a question I wanted to ask you. Do you think that if a de facto government, the way it is being structured, can put somebody in position of power to be able to have the advantage of forming or negotiating at that international level? What is the guarantee that when you are put in office, that you'll be able to remain with the same ideology that you went into Nigerian politics with?
Mazi,
what is the guarantee?
It is very, very impossible. There is no guarantee as to regard to that, because everybody in Nigeria, like, let's assume, for instance, anybody that is hungry, your situation and your desperation is not the same when you are fed. The time you are hungry and the time you are being fed is not the same situation. So now, if you able to put people into government in order for you to get the attention that you needed, remember, I have not explained it. We have examples here. P2B put the present governor of Anambra State today. Are they going the same road? The one at Edo State put Abasike, and is that what is his name of this guy? Is that Sowore or what? Yeah. So are they going the same road today? You can see most of them. You can see Ngige when his godfather put him on the seat. Did they go in the same way? So there is so many of them we can count on that even when you struggle to put people in a position, once they grab that opportunity.
Even when ABGA, the motive for formation of ABGA as a political party in the first place was to see if they could find a way to create that space for a de facto government. I believe that was the intention of, trying to go through that political process, Mazi Solomon. And today, ABGA have disappeared from the surface of the earth.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, that is exactly what we are discussing. That if we put such an energy to put people, to scare people through into that opportunity, they might end up not responding to you when they grab that opportunity. They might end up not working for you when they get that opportunity.
So we have. Let's take more calls. We have a caller. Hello, caller. Welcome to the program. You're welcome to the program.
I will give you advice if you want to bring that guy to platform. If you bring him to your platform, don't bring him to Biafra TV for we to put high blood pressure in our mind. Tell you, because before you have a conversation, before these guys will come to platform to talk, you have already get a conversation with him. You need to be people. We are not happy with them. Before we can leave this problem, I know that if you are serious with them, brothers, thank you. I will think we have disgrace. Honestly, this is a shame to our staff, to our hall. We are not happy or complaining of the whole world. If anything we talk about that, you are like, and somebody now have to tell you what you are doing, you are talking, you have to take advice. Which advice are you going to take? In this letter, brother, this is absolutely unacceptable for what is going on. How are we going to be watching this guy to come up and telling all this kind of thing, this not necessary for us? And look what our brother Jude Okafor is committing, crying. Everybody is falling for this kind of program. I don't like it. Don't bring this guy to this. This is too much. We are being kept out of state. Somebody to go out and say, don't do that. This is so steady to come and bring us the command, all those kind of human capability to rule our people for over 60 years that even mandate. And therefore, you have right. You have right to control your state. You have right to control your community. That is somewhere when you gather in your village, controlled by foreign, in every matter of state, we coming here to learn from how we are going. And then we capture it's going to be an escape code in office and all. Thank you. And close the program. I'm not happy with it.
Thank you for your contribution, Mazi Solomon. So that is why, like you've said it, everybody have their state of mind and emotion. And I want Biafrans to really understand that we need to, even when we have the greatest opposition, we must open our heart, listen, bring up very solid debate and intellectual more higher grade of somebody can come here and say whatever they like. It is left to you to address them in a more suitable way. You don't expect people to come to be praising you. You are doing well. I like what you are doing. Keep up. No. Sometimes you also need criticism. You also need somebody who needs to tell you that you are not doing anything. There is hello caller, hello caller, hello caller, hello caller. Please calm down the volume of your TV set. Biafrans must learn to also meet people who tells them that they are not doing anything, that you have not achieved anything. You don't have to be listening to people who are telling you that you are doing very well, that you keep on. I don't believe when people come to tell me, keep on the good work you are doing. Tell me as well where I haven't done it right. Caller, go ahead and make your contribution. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Mazi, Patrick, I greet you and Mazi Solomon.
Thank you. Welcome to the program.
Yes, I never wanted to say them, but there's one man that I called a few minutes or an hour ago. So I decided to call and to say something about it. Okay, my name is Akwanga. I'm calling from Kenya, but originally I'm from Imo State.
Welcome to the program.
I've been following your thank you. I've been following your program very, very long time ago. So my take on that is this. The guy said he talked about respect and IPOB followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they are rude and that, My take is this. That person who said that, there are a lot of things he's missing. And there's something I want to tell our people. We are freedom fighters and we have lost a lot of things. We are not missing word and we are not romancing word. The thing which is there is this. We are ready to listen to anybody or any suggestion or any somebody who want to add or whatever. But what is your suggestion all about? What is your contribution all about? What do you want to contribute? Are they telling us, we the IPOB, to go and talk to Wazirike to come and join? Or are we to join the MASOB? Let me remind you something, my brother. Do you remember when our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was released from prison? Do you remember what Mazi, what's his name? The then leader of MASOB, Uchen Namado, yes. Do you remember that Uchen Namado came to Afarukibe to meet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and they agreed to march together to fight for freedom of Biafra? Do you remember that, which was circulated all over the places? Everybody was happy about that. Yes, Uchen Namado came to Afarukibe and they agreed with our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us join hands together and fight for Biafran freedom. Because of what? Uchen Namado have seen something in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB, and he knows that we are heading towards the right direction. So, and he's a person, the way I saw that movement, I believed that his heart is clean and he's not a person who wants to sell us for a pot of soup to Nigerian government. So now are you telling me now to go and meet Asari Dokubo, who is not a freedom fighter? Who has he fought for before? He has only fought for his stomach. So now, who are we going to? Are we the one to meet them, to join them and abandon IPOB, which has the millions of Biafrans all over?
Absolutely not. Hello.
Are they the one who have only 100 members to join IPOB to fight for the freedom of Biafra if they are genuine? So those are the things we need to understand. We are not here to go and join anybody. If you want,
IPOB cannot join. IPOB cannot. Listen. Hello, caller. Caller, can you hear me? My purpose of inviting Dr. Akwanga in this program, I've said that before, and I want to say it again. that in 2015, when our leader Mazi was incarcerated, he brought out a proposal and called for all the pro-Biafran groups to come together. And it's important that our people get this point very, very clear. He called for a meeting of all pro-Biafran groups, and he invited them in Ghana. And as at that time, the person at the top of the affair of IPOB was the ex-deputy Mazi Uchemefo. And Uchemefo himself completely rejected the idea. Not only rejected the idea, but demonized Dr. Akwanga for even making that attempt. That was in 2015. Why did I bring Dr. Akwanga to clear that issue? Because today, the same Uchemefo is now propagating for all pro-Biafran groups. He's now become the champion for pro-Biafran groups to come together as one. But this was what Dr. Akwanga tried in the past, and Uchemefo called him all sorts of names, insulted him left, right, and center. He used Radio Biafra platform to demonize this same person. You know, so this is the reason why I brought him, so that our people can see that the man who told you some time ago that Biafra's that IPOB can never work with any other Biafran group is now the one telling every group to come together. To see the hypocrisy of Uchemefo. That is why I brought him here. So every other thing he said by the side, you know, and he made it very, very clear. And for me, and that is why I love our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When you tell him that he hasn't achieved anything, he do more to, you know. So what I try to do is to also make Biafrans understand that nobody can pull your morale down. That people criticize you or people say you have not done anything or they talk down on you, it's not enough for you to look down on yourself. Anybody can bring their opinion and say IPOB have not achieved anything. But we know what we have achieved. We know what we have achieved. But my primary aim of bringing this man, you might not like him, but my primary aim of bringing him is to clear the air that a former deputy who stood against IPOB coming together with other pro-Biafran groups is now championing the unity of all pro-Biafran groups. So Biafrans need to get this point very, very clear.
Okay. In respect to that, me, I'm not against Akwanga, Dr. Akwanga, because there's something he said, which I picked something out of it, very, very, very clear. He said that you don't achieve independence without going into armed struggle, of which that is truth, and that is what we are doing. Although IPOB remains peaceful organization, but we will get there, because the way Nigeria is in the hand of Fulani, they are not ready to listen if we remain peaceful. So, but we are not there yet, but we get there. That one I can assure everybody. Now, what I'm trying to tell the caller who demanded respect from IPOB members, if he was talking to me direct, I will brush him aside, because I will tell him, look, I'm the first person who will insult you. Let me tell you the reason why I'm saying like that. Because we are not in a democracy. We don't have our own government yet. We don't have our own independence yet. What we are fighting for is Biafra. You should have asked him at his presence, has he seen a policeman or an army, Janjaweed army from Sahel, shot a Biafra at his presence, and that person bled and died without any, even when they tried to rush him or her to hospital, they will reject to treat him or her in the hospital. If you ask him that, then he will tell you, no, he has not witnessed such. He only see it on social media, on Facebook. Then you tell him to go and sit down. We listen to everybody, quite sure, no problem. Me, personally, I like criticizing. If you come to my platform to criticize me, I don't block you. I welcome you. But you don't expect me to respond to you with mercy. Of course, I cannot respond to you with mercy. The way you come is the way I will respond to you because I'm angry. I'm fighting. Do you know how many people we have lost in this struggle? And somebody want me to respect him before I talk to him. Of course, I can't. So if you don't share the same ideology with me, no problem, good and fine, but don't cross my path.
Thank you.
You can criticize me, but when I respond to you, don't think I'm insulting you because you are the one who brought yourself to me. If you don't believe my ideology, it's either you remain on your own or you quit. But if you come across my path, I will welcome your criticizing. I will welcome you. But the same way you have come is the same way I will return it back to you.
Thank
That
you.
is how it is.
Thank you very much. Everybody have their opinion, and we must respect every opinion. Thank you, caller, for your contribution. Somebody dropped a comment or son Moses said, Patrick, please sacrifice your father and your mother, okay? God bless them. Okay. Well, unfortunately, my both parents are no longer alive. I would have, if they were to be alive, I would have still done the same. But unfortunately, they are no longer alive. Osondo Moses, thank you for that comment. Mazi Solomon, do you have something else to say? Okay, are you there? I thought you are through with your contribution.
I thought you wanted to.
No. Thank you for. Yeah. No. Thank you very much. We've gotten your message. Thank you for that wonderful contribution, my brother. Yes, Mazi, you are still having the same earpiece problem. We can't hear you, unfortunately. We cannot hear you. We are receiving a lot of calls. There is this person that I've been trying to reach, that I've been trying to call from the UK, and I just have to see if I can get back to him. Mazi Solomon, try to sort yourself out, please. Hello, caller from the UK.
Yeah, good evening, Mazi. Mazi Solomon. This is Chukwemeka Ede.
Okay.
Please. Just give me 1 minute or so. Let me.
Yeah, if you can do it in 1 minute, it will be nice because there is somebody that have been trying to get in touch with me so desperately, and I need to get in touch with that person as well because we need to give people more accommodation. Go ahead.
Please, it's a little advice. Look at what happened this night because you can see there are so many. This platform is a platform where when we come, Biafra is a Biafran television. When we come to this platform, there is a reason why we come on this platform. We come here to be educated, to get the information on what will move us forward towards Biafran freedom. When some of all these guests you bring, some of them you discuss with them privately and know their mindset and know whatever they are coming to this platform to say. It's your platform, we know, but you are broadcasting to millions of Biafrans all over the world. And so many of us, millions of Biafrans also, when you open your mind, your spirit, different information, negative information. So many of us are not strong enough to understand what freedom fighting is all about. Now, God has blessed us with a trusted leader, a formidable leader, that whatever he says comes to pass. We don't need any outside influence to come and to tell us how to fight for freedom or to bring information to us.
Hello, caller. Can I come in, please? Just a moment. Can I come in for a while?
Okay.
For me, I believe that Biafrans have gotten to the point where they can digest information. And I want Biafrans to start taking that seriously. We cannot continue on the path of praises and worship every day. We must learn, and we must start learning how to face the demon before us. We must start learning how to face those who talk us down, respond to them politely, handle them with high level of intelligence, and deal with those who disagree with us. Every day, people come here to tell me, "Oh, carry on with what the good work you are doing. Keep on." I'm not satisfied. I want people to even abuse me when I get it wrong. Like I've read some negative. I've never read any negative comment on this platform ever. But I read some negative comment directed at me, and that boosted my morale. Because every day I sit back here and people keep praising me. I don't need that praises. I want people to abuse me and call me out when I get it wrong. So if somebody comes here as a guest and say things that you don't like or try to talk us down, it is our duty to educate them. And I have been able to do that by letting Dr. Akwanga understand that IPOB have achieved so much. And he came out at the end of the day to admit that really, that he even apologized, that he's taking his word back. So these are the things we should engage ourselves with, not expecting that anybody will come here should speak in our favor. We should also bring people who will also speak against us in this platform so that we also engage with that level of intellectual debate. We cannot continue on the path of mediocrity of everyday praise and worship, singing praises and all that. No, we should face people too who are against us, who say we are nobody. I want them in this platform. And that is how we are. This is who we are. We must engage in high level of intellectual debate, not talking down on anybody. Even when people talk down on us, we must also learn to digest negative thinking and then negative talk. Mazi, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much. You see, I've said that freedom fighting is entirely a different thing. Number one, we are not in a democracy. Number two, this is not a social club. Number three, keep repeating this. Most of you, that's why some of the people are still looking for goodness here and there. If you really understand and who he is and what God has done for Biafra, you dare not even look for public opinion or argument with anybody or whatever to bring them on the platform or whatever. Because the reason why I'm saying it is because there are so many millions of Biafra. They are not strong in the struggle.
They have to, Biafrans need to be strong. If you join IPOB, you must learn to deal with negative people when they come your way. You must learn to educate. But by the way, a caller, I have stated categorically clear why I invited Dr. Akwanga. And the purpose of bringing him here, that motive have been achieved. And I do not expect that everything he's going to say is going to be in my favor or in the favor of anybody or in the favor of IPOB. But my aim of bringing Dr. Akwanga in this program is to tell Biafrans the effort he made sometime in the past that was rejected by the ex-deputy leader of IPOB, Mazi Uchemefo, that in fact Uchemefo blackmailed him, demonized him, and today Uchemefo is going in that direction that he rejected, and he has become the champion of all the pro-Biafran group coming together. This is the reason why I brought him. Every other thing is just by the way. Go ahead.
Can I tell you one thing?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This for now, let me give you this scenario. And if it happens, you might be shocked. Record this call I'm giving you today. You see, you brought him to clear
clarified something about Uchemepo's behavior. Okay, he has clarified it. We've all understood what he said. Now, if this same Dr. Akwanga tomorrow, if you see him working with the same Uchemepo,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
You see him tomorrow working with that same Uchemepo, what will be your conclusion?
I don't expect Dr. Akwanga to be an enemy of Uchemefo. But what I've come to do is to put the mind of Biafrans in the direction for them to see clearer that a man who once at some point rejected a path, because today Uchemefo is claiming to be the holiest of the holy, is the man that that people should follow. Now I'm bringing the mind of our people to now see, because he has formed, according to him, he is part of the new de facto government. Now, what is the character of this person who is forming a de facto government? The character is what we'll be discussing in the coming days, including the character of the Asari Dokubon himself. Now, the question we should be putting across to Biafran is, does these characters have what it takes to give the people of Biafra the de facto? So we are just starting. So I don't expect. All I want Biafrans is to be patient, follow us in this journey, and we'll get to the end.
De facto government of Uchemepo and Asari Dokubo, number one, is dead on arrival. The reason why he's dead on arrival is because even anybody discussing about the de facto government, the people who launched the de facto government, where are they today? What are they doing about their de facto government? They have come and proclaimed it publicly. So what have they done to follow it up? Absolutely nothing. Rather, they will also come on Facebook and still be talking all sorts of rubbish. It's better for us, my brother, for us to be getting all those criticism from different platforms that are not Biafran platform. Because tomorrow, what most of them will do is they will cut a piece from the same broadcast on your platform to use it against IPOB. Do you see what they are saying on Biafran platform, IPOB platform? This is how they operate this media war. We have to be very, very wise. The reason why our leader will always say, be resolute. For us to be resolute. Being resolute is because we have placed our eyes on a particular point. We are walking. We know where we are going, and we know who is leading us to that place we are going. We don't need any advice. I called before to ask a question. Please, have you seen our leader before? Have you spoken to him on the phone? He made a reaction on your program. That reaction clearly states that he is not happy because our leader came out of prison and did not reach out to him. So how can he reach out to
it's not
leader?
There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people.
We are saying this is that there are millions of Biafrans that don't understand what freedom fighting is all about. When you are fighting for freedom, you don't look left, you don't look right, you don't go and pick advice there, pick here, listen to this one, listen to that one. So many people will be confused.
There is no confusion. There is no confusion. Anybody who is confused, anybody who is confused in this journey, anybody who is confused, Mazi, anybody who is confused in this journey, Mazi, anybody who is confused in the journey that we have, that is what I'm saying. If you are confused as a Biafran, Mazi, if you are confused as a Biafran, that means you have not been listening to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nobody can confuse me. I know where I stand. Those who are confused are those who do not listen to their leader. And the opinion of the guest in this program is not enough to confuse anybody. Because whether you listen to the guest opinion, his advice or whatever, anybody that will be confused will be confused. Because there are people who even go to, who involve themselves in secret WhatsApp group. Most of the things you see happening around Uchemefo today is as a result of secret WhatsApp group gossip here and there. You know, and we have a lot of people who involve themselves in secret WhatsApp group where they listen to gossip from day morning till night. You know, so the idea of somebody telling me he is confused because somebody made an opinion in this program is completely unacceptable. Because if you follow our leader, you know the direction. You know the direction he's taking us to. You know, so for me, it is completely out of point to say there are people who will be confused because of the opinion of a guest in this program. It's completely, it means you are not following the leader of IPOB. You don't understand what IPOB stands for. And there are people,
that is for you.
yes.
That is for you, Mazi, because you're a strong member of IPOB. There are people who are not strong members of IPOB. They are not strong members. Their mindset and whatever is not as strong as their willpower is not the same as you and me. Some of you know Mazi Namdekan to a particular level. Some of us that started this here in London with him, we also know him from a different perspective. But the people, there are millions of Biafran that are in this struggle today. Their mindset, their willpower is not the same like me or you. This is the reason why we are saying it. Because if you are bringing some of these people on the platform of Biafran TV, let there be a positive vibe towards what we are doing. Because today, from the Dr. Akwanga, is you that is trying to control him, trying to frame him, trying to, let him see things, from a different perspective. From all indication, all the things he said today, it means he did not even understand even the level of what we have been able to achieve under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as our leader.
He knows. He knows.
2016,
He knows.
when our leader was in prison, Uchemefo as the deputy was fighting very hard with Obidiobien to hijack this IPOB we are talking about today.
Dr. Akwanga knows. He knows. He knows. There is nobody around the world that doesn't know the achievement of IPOB. That people tell you that you have not achieved doesn't mean you have not achieved. They could be coming from a point of view of that you need to do more, but they try to like go to the extreme to tell you you haven't achieved anything. But we've been able to point out the facts to him, and he admitted that we've done a great job. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have done a great job. So.
You bring Mazi Solomon on your program. You bring
you don't expect Mazi. You don't expect Mazi. You don't expect. No, absolutely, Mazi. You don't expect. Mazi. You don't expect. Mazi, that.
Something that will be building us up. Not even if they are criticizing us, let them criticize us outside our platform. Let them stay on their platform and criticize us.
Mazi, I have already told you, and I appreciate your contribution.
All over the world. That's why we listen to you.
Beautiful.
You're not coming on our platform to criticize us here.
Mazi.
We don't want to learn anything from them.
Mazi.
We have a leader. That's what the voice we want to hear. The voice of members of IPOB. Not somebody who says he's not a member of IPOB, but he wants to give us advice. What advice is that person going to give us? But the person is not a member of IPOB. So of what use is
let's allow, we have other We have other callers. Can we allow? Beautiful. Thank you for your contribution. Let's allow other calls to come in. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, so we have other callers who also want to contribute, and I will be rounding up. We've spent almost 4 hours, 3 hours 45 minutes, and we have another caller. It is also very important that sometimes you don't expect to be drinking milk every day. You know, Biafrans, yes, I understand. But when somebody comes with a contrary view, we must also listen and address them intelligently. Mazi, go ahead.
Yeah, but what I want to advise is this: like somebody wrote here that you should not bring Uchemefo issue on this platform because Uchemefo is dead and on arrival. I support that person because, you know, Uchemefo, we that work very close to Uchemefo, we know who Uchemefo is. And for mentioning Uchemefo, people will be thinking that Uchemefo is relevant. I want to tell Biafrans, Michael Nwanya, I have worked with Uchemefo for 8 good years. Uchemefo opening a radio station, I call it Human Rights Radio. When Uchemefo was anchoring Radio Biafra, if we can understand or if we can observe the type of person Uchemefo is, Uchemefo hardly allow somebody to express his own opinion. He will just off that person immediately. Uchemefo, in any meeting of IPOB, Uchemefo don't attend any meeting that IPOB call. He will just rank himself as a lord. So, if somebody is telling us that Uchemefo is relevant, it's those that who don't know Uchemefo. Uchemefo is more wicked. He created a very big damage in IPOB that the good people thought that Uchemefo did.
Mazi, that is why we brought Dr. Akwanga to show Biafrans the damage. And today he's running to those people that he rejected to go and eat and dine with them today. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, Akwanga is somehow, let me be specific to this. You know, Akwanga is a freedom fighter, quite all right. But if a freedom fighter or a freedom fighter cannot submit his loyalty to the leader of any group, that person is not a real freedom fighter. It's what Akwanga is. It's what Akwanga is doing. Akwanga is just like Uchemefo them to Ambazonia. So, Ambazonia has a leader right now as I'm talking, and Akwanga is not working very closely to that leader. So for him to come to IPOB and be discussing how we will move on or how we will do, let him go and submit himself to the leader of Ambazonia first. You know, in Africa, we have this kind of mentality that when somebody can speak very well, or when somebody has money, or when somebody can represent one thing or the other, that person will like to start his own instead of obeying the leadership.
But Mazi, he even said it as well, that everybody want to be a chief, everybody want to be a leader.
Exactly, and he is just like that person. So for him to call us, I know when 2015, you are correct, 2015 when our leader was in prison, he called for all Biafran group to come together. Is Uchemefo rejected the call? Is Uchemefo that is calling unity today rejected call? Uchemefo anchored Radio Biafra and said that If Mazi cannot come out from prison and be talking of peace, when he expels people in Iranian, our dear late Imam Mesud now, and the others, when Uche before expelled them, Uche before every day on Radio Biafra saying that if Mazi cannot come out and make peace or call for peace, he, Uche before, will be the first person that will resign from IPOB and get out. But today, Uche before is calling peace. For those who don't know him, let me tell Biafrans, the problem of Uche before is 4,000 euro. The 4,000 pounds Uche before was earning in Radio Biafra is not enough for him. He wants more. That is the genesis of his problem, Biafrans. Uche before want more money in IPOB, not knowing that the money for IPOB is not meant for personal interest. It's for other things, to run other affairs of IPOB. But Uche before want more money to be paid to him. That is the genesis of Uche before problem. He want to show that he want to rank his shoulder with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is ready to do that. That is why Uche before that's why Uche before is bringing problem into IPOB. That is the fact. So if somebody who don't know what Uche before is, will be thinking that Uche before is this or that. Uche before want more money because he is a lazy human being. We are in Europe here. The type of Uche before, he can never do any job in Europe. That is not to castigate him. This is fact. Uche before can never even do anything in Europe and be successful because he is very lazy. The 4,000 pounds we are paying Uche before, how many times have Uche before slept on radio while anchoring Radio Biafra? If you advise him, he will just expel you. He will just caution you. He will just insult you. He doesn't take advice. I'm not castigating him. I'm not talking. God be my witness. I'm not talking against Uche before. Uche before is somebody that doesn't take advice. He's very wicked. Uche before is very wicked. So I will advise you to even to not to anchor your program with Uche before, or not to discuss Uche before on your program. That's to make him more relevant, or Biafra will think that Uche before is relevant. So that is my personal advice to you, Mazi.
Thank you very much, Mazi. Thank you very much. And we'll be taking, thank you very much. We'll be taking the last. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Please, you know you have run too much. So you have to go, you have to close.
I'm taking, after this, your call, I'll be taking, the caller is gone. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you very much.
You know, when we were in Italy, the stress we are passing through. So anybody that is playing Biafra, you know how stressful it is.
A lot of pressure. So, Mazi, thank you very much. It's part of the sacrifice we have to make. Thank you very much, Mazi. We appreciate. So that was my former national coordinator for IPOB Italy, and Mazi Michael Iruanya. And I want to say thank you for that contribution. Let's see if we can take the last caller. The last caller. Hello, caller. You are going to be the last caller for today. Go ahead and make your contribution while we round up. You have just 3 minutes.
All right. I will not take more than 3 minutes. Good morning, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom, wherever you are. Good morning. My name is Mazi Steve. I'm calling you from Germany. Yes, Mazi, I heard what everybody said, but what I want to advise is our people should try to see, according to this man you brought in, our people should try and see it in the other way. Maybe this man is trying to pass an information which we have to take precaution of. I deal with
suggest that you should bring the man in next time. So by his words, we can know where he's going and where he's coming from. So from there, we can pick something up, and once our enemy is blinded, maybe from there. I don't want to go more further. Thank you, Mazi. That's all what I want to say.
Thank you for the contribution. I've already given Biafrans the opportunity to tell me. I will abide by their decision. This is their channel, and whatever anybody they reject in this platform, we wouldn't want to bring them back again. But if Biafrans want anybody to appear in this program, if the person perform to their expectation and they say bring him back, we'll bring them back. If they say don't bring them back, we would not go contrary. But one thing I want Biafrans to understand is, in the journey for freedom fighting, especially with the experience we've had in IPOB, we have come to the point where we have to do more of the listening and do less of the talking.
Yes.
It's very, very important because we have a lot to learn. We must open our heart. Nobody can deceive us. We know the direction we are going. I've seen a lot of people drop comment, hey, Patrick, you are a saboteur because you brought somebody who didn't speak according to their expectation, or somebody who said something they don't like. Why should you bring him to come and say such a thing in this platform? So for that, you are a saboteur. And that makes me laugh, but I hope that with time, people will start developing their mind to a point where you can even, like myself, if you abuse me, I laugh. Even when you make negative comment, I love reading out negative comment more than positive comment, because those are the issues that I like to deal on, and I love dealing with people who have contrary opinion, to my belief. I don't like it when people come here and be praising me, hey, you are doing well. I want people to tell me I'm not doing it right, so that I'll be able to see, because if somebody tell you are not doing it right, then you question yourself, where am I getting it wrong? And that is the only way you can improve. So, caller, I want to say,
something that a caller said, I don't know where the caller comes from. He said that you should watch in the future, in the nearest future, that something that you don't expect might happen in our guest today. So what I want to, for me, I suggest that maybe next time you should bring the guest in, look where he's coming from and where he's going. So we know, we Biafrans, we know, and most of us in the media, we know where we will forward and move ahead. Thank you. That's only what I want to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you. At this point, we have to round it up. We spent almost 4 hours in this program, and it's my pleasure. I feel so delighted. I've never had this level of calls and people calling in to express themselves, disagreeing and agreeing. I have over 150 calls that I didn't even pick. And I'm really sorry for that. I can't pick all the calls. For those who I didn't pick their calls, I'm sorry. For those who I picked their calls, I also appreciate your calling. For those who made beautiful comments, I appreciate you. For those who also made negative comments, I appreciate you as well. Our program continues, and if in the future we'll find the need for Dr. Akwanga to return, we'll make that possible. If we see the need for him not to come back, we would also respect the opinion of every Biafran. We want to say thank you for being part of this program. For those of you who started and ended with us in this program, we want to say thank you. I encourage you to like, share, and tag your friends with this program. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow, possibly, when Mazi Solomon will be in a better position to also talk about so many other issues. And I want to say thank you, Biafrans, for giving me the opportunity to be your presenter today. Have a wonderful morning, evening, and night, wherever you might be. My name remains Mazi Patrick DK. May God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day.
Asim gị gaba n'iru n'onwere ife fa ga-eme ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ma chacha ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo okwu nna m gwara omugbuo ọ sị na ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ịma na nwata chọba nke ya akpọbụ ya ajọ mmadụ mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ Chukwu okike bụ ị na-asụ Chukwu okike so ga-eje n'onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme ebe fa na-egbutere gị n'operation fighter dancing n'onwere ife ọzọ fa ga-eme maka na ọchọ nke adị enwe ilo ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oge anyị ọ sị na ya marọ emesi aka na ị ga-amarịli emesi aka na ị ga-aghọta ndị ọcha achasị bute ọcha ha achasị bute nke ji ụlọ na igwe erike ndị ji n'ịmaka ibi ego welepụsi ụmụnne ba unu godu ma na agwa ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'ụka anyị